I guess Quantum Leap had a new episode.
Oh, did it really?
I guess. We didn't watch it. That's funny. Arcade said, don't be fooled. They just forgot they needed to watch Quantum Leap and just finished it.
That's what that was. That's what it was.
I guess Quantum Leap had a new episode.
Oh, did it really?
I guess. We didn't watch it. That's funny.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right. You know what day it is, my friends? It is Thursday, and you are watching The Pickle Party. What's up, Shane? How you doing, brother?
I got a new name for it. It's called the Lunchtime Unleashed Show. Except it's not happening at lunchtime now because it's an hour and 10 minutes later. I got to tell you, we are so sorry, everybody who's been waiting this whole time to watch the show. Let me tell you guys something. Third-party companies who don't care, they just don't care about the people that make them money. I'm talking to you, YouTube. I'm talking to you, Amazon, Spotify.
YouTube, Spotify. Sorry.
Let me tell you guys right now, okay? This is ridiculous. We make you the money, okay? Everything, we make $1,000. You guys take 320 of it, okay? So that's the only way you make money is off of third-party content. So stop messing with us. Basically, we've been trying to upload our Prime Video all morning, and it keeps coming back with these like random copyright checks and claims, and just it's a different clip. It's just a bunch of garbage. Anyways, we're here for you guys. Sorry for the delay.
And the weirdest claim, this last one, it was claiming black screen.
Oh, well,
the last one. It was claiming literally black. I'm like, all right, so I get it.
There's a message in there somewhere.
Hey, so well, in no way is a sponsor, but this is called a charger, and it's from. Hold up, it's from a company called a restaurant called Panera Bread. Okay, they're all over the place. You've probably heard of them.
Not sponsored. No
sponsor, but if you've ever liked to know what it's like to drink meth.
Demonetized.
These things have so much caffeine in them, dude. Like, I have a pretty high tolerance for caffeine. These things are wild. I mean, they're like, I'm seeing colors right now. It's nutty.
You thought Red Bull had wings. Got nothing on that stuff. Brian's got this deal, I guess. And listen, this is not an advertisement at all, but I'm fascinated by what he's doing here. He can go get a drink at Panera every 2 hours for $10 a month. And they have like tons of drinks. He can just walk in every 2 hours, get a drink. I don't know if that's a good business model.
Yeah, I just don't think they expect people to actually take advantage of the 2 hour thing.
Right.
But it's pretty wild because $10 a month, and I'm literally walking in there. At this point, the guy recognizes me, and he doesn't even check. He just hands me the cup.
Nice.
And so I'm like, I'm just walking in there, getting a giant cup of this. They have sodas, they have smoothies, they have coffee. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
You're going to be the guy that tests the theory. They're like, okay, we made a huge mistake. We lost $150 today.
Yeah, there's always one guy that like goes to like the all-you-can-eat buffet and just lives there for a week, and they have to change all their policies.
Oh, so let's see. Oh, interesting. I know we're going to talk Star Trek here in just a minute, but I got to tell you guys, there's a couple of weird pieces of news I thought was hilarious. So apparently Will Smith just can't stop doing stupid things. He can't. So he puts out this information. He says, nothing touches the failure of getting divorced. And in open humiliation to Jada Smith, he declares divorcing his first wife, Cherie, was his life's greatest mistake. So I would argue, Will, that the greatest mistake was marrying the wrong person in the first place.
Yeah.
Not getting a divorce, marrying the wrong person.
Saying that, though, when you're currently married to a person is hilariously stupid.
It's almost like as if you like went up in front of millions of people and just slapped somebody inappropriately.
Yeah. So Jada Pinkett Smith is just a toxic POS, a piece of garbage. She has totally emasculated this dude to the point where I think he just has like permanent mental issues because of her. I actually feel bad for the dude. I don't know if you ever see some of that video where she's like filming him and he's like, "Hey, Jada, don't film me, man. I'm in my house. I'm trying to relax." And
it reminds me of like Johnny and Amber.
Yeah, stop being a little puss. And he's like, Come on, man. Like, wait.
It reminds me of Johnny and Amber. It does, from the stuff that came out in the trial. Yeah. But you know what's even weirder news than Will Smith's news? Is a giant flying bug was found on the side of Walmart. Turns out to be a super rare Jurassic era insect that they just refound on the side of a Walmart in Arkansas.
Like I'm picturing like a giant like dragonfly or something.
Yes, that's what the picture looks like. It's kind of like a big dragonfly.
Okay, so let's talk about what we're talking about today. Well, I'll tell you, my friends. Of course, we are talking about Picard Season 3, Episode 3. We're going to review the crap out of that episode because holy moly, right? No spoilers yet, but if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. Wow. What an episode. And we're going to be talking about the Mandalorian's depressing, disappointing start to a new season. And apparently, CBS/Paramount Global might be broke, and that's not going to look good for Star Trek after Season 3 of Picard. And we're getting some new, is it Rings of Power movies or Lord of the Rings movies?
Lord of the Rings movies.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Not made by Amazon.
Oh, good. Oh, good. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, or Disney, right?
No, it's going to be Warner Brothers.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I'm sorry. Everyone complains about Warner Brothers, but HBO Max is doing some good work. Like almost everything HBO Max has done, I liked so far.
It's the same company who made the original, the trilogy that came out with Peter Jackson and then The Hobbit. It's the same company doing it.
Then that's great.
So,
are they like continuing the story?
We don't know yet. We don't know. They can't continue it. They only have, each one of these companies have control of like a certain part of Tolkien's work. Now they happen to have control of like the era that from the books. So that's why we get, basically a retelling of the books. So it'll probably be like an offshoot of a character, maybe the Rohirrim, or maybe something to do with the dwarves. Who knows? But what it does mean is, Amazon's saying they're not worried about it, but they should be shaking in their boots considering they've already spent $1 billion on their Lord of the Rings stuff.
You know what song plays in my head whenever you talk about Lord of the Rings?
Not a clue.
Nerd, you're a fucking nerd, and no one likes you.
I didn't know that was the song.
Oh my God, you're such a nerd when it comes to Lord of the Rings. It's crazy. I thought I was a nerd when it comes to Superman crap. No,
I am a
hyper nerd.
Big time.
Yeah, the sweatiest of Lord of the Rings nerds. All right. So what do you want to do? I guess we can just jump in it. So I do think that maybe we should give, before we go into like the frame by frame review, like a brief non-spoiler review, because some people were requesting that in the comments last time.
So they were requesting a non-spoiler review?
They don't want to be spoiled, I guess, but like it's weird that you're like watching a stream where we're like,
but if we do that, you might leave. No, I'm just
we literally never do non-spoiler reviews, right?
We never do. And the episode came out. I mean, like the problem with non-spoiler reviews, they're great. But the problem is that we're just going to spoil it like 5 minutes later. So here's the non-spoiler review for you really quick.
Okay.
Episode 3 is great. It's really about Picard and Riker and parenthood. And we get a really huge surprise that nobody saw coming at all. And I know you said that last week when like we found out Picard had a son, but this is like, what the heck? Especially if you're a big DS9 fan. And then we learn finally what that thing is that's in the center position of the Shrike that they couldn't identify in episode 2. We learn what that is. That's a big surprise. And yeah, I think that's probably the most important part of that's all the everything else is a spoiler. So
all right. Well, then there you go. There's your non-spoiler review.
Yeah. Good. Oh, and Jonathan Frakes directed this episode, so
it's a good show. You should watch it.
And started. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's do this. Let's jump right in it, shall we?
Is there anything else I can say about things coming up? Oh, a couple things real quick. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, I do want to say this at the top. Go and watch our Star Trek is Back video. It's actually doing really well right now. It seems like it's kind of caught the atmosphere of Star Trek fans right now, because that video really goes to the heart of what Star Trek is about and explains why Picard season 3 is important and what we need to do in the future in order to get more of that. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go check it out. If you'd rather see us break down season 3, episode 3, instead of talk about it, there will be that video coming out hopefully soon. Mm-hmm. And I think we have an interview. Okay, so I think Sunday we have an interview with Terry Matalas coming out, right?
Right.
And then Monday we'll be back with Raw Rant, which we might have some more Trek guests that we haven't had before, which will be fun.
Oh, yeah.
So lots of really cool things coming up. And so you want to make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff.
Josh said that he can smell my hair.
I don't know what that means. Oh, that's right. Earlier I said your hair was on fire back here. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a good smell.
We're burning hair. Problems. We just sort of gave up and did the live stream. So
yeah, we basically said, we can't fix it. So, but burning hair smells really bad.
It does. We got a super chat from Dork Knight. What's up, Danny? Best episode of Picard yet. It is true that they just keep getting better. Yes, it is. Also, the changelings got a lot better at looking human. Yes, they did. I like the new effect for the changelings too, as well.
Yeah, and Danny is he's writing for Honest Pop Culture, our news site, and so he's got an article coming out hopefully Sunday or Monday. So
Sweet.
Thanks, Danny.
Also, super chat from Polaris Sucks. No, it won't happen, but I want Avery Brooks cameo. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd all love to see that, Polaris, but he's just not. I don't know if you guys saw the documentary, The Captains, that William Shatner did, and you're like watching the whole thing, and when he finally gets to Avery, it's like something just was off there that whole time. I don't want to say he's not in his right mind, but good goodness, it sure seemed like it. Either that or he's just a little bit eccentric.
Maybe he just has that like FU money now, and he's like, I'm gonna act crazy.
Is that
no one can do anything about it.
The FU money.
That's what I'm looking for. As soon as I get FU money, I'm just like, I'm never gonna wear pants. Okay. I'm just gonna say all kinds of wild things. All right, man. Let's jump into the review, shall we?
Yes, sir.
All right, dude. Let me load this thing up.
The ups and downs review.
I don't understand why Paramount insists on showing me a commercial before every single episode I stream.
I can tell you guys something disappointing. And I'm sorry, Brian. I get it. Your frustration. I want to tell you something. All of you Star Trek channels out there, and I hope you watch this. All of you Star Trek channels that cover all of Star Trek and like them. So Lower Decks, Prodigy, Discovery, the first 2 seasons of Picard, and Strange New Worlds. Those of you guys who cover those and have said we love it and we like it and it's great and just kind of schlobbing on the big Star Trek knob all the time. Okay. For those of you guys who bitched and moaned because we got early access to Picard season 3, you guys are little whiny punks. I'm just going to tell you right now. We found out that there are several people who complained to Paramount that we got access and they didn't, because they suck up to Star Trek and don't tell the truth. And they want to be friends. We're not interested in being friends. We're interested in honest pop culture. If you make good Star Trek, then we will say it's good. If you make bad Star Trek, then we're going to say it's bad. And hopefully the integrity will make you want to watch. And that's all we can really say.
Yeah, we're just lucky this time that I actually like it. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. They did a great job. Congrats to Paramount. Congrats to Terry Matalas. They did a great job. I hope you guys keep making more like this.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, well, I'm holding my breath, but hey, Andre Benson for $5. What up, Andre? I'm just like, is this the same Star Trek Picard show that gave us season 1? Oh my God, I lost it. Season 1 and season 2 literally sat still after this episode went off. Bring on episode 4. Yes. Bring it on. Episode 4 is great too. Like, listen, this show it gets better and better. And what we were saying at the beginning of the season, we were like you need to, like, it's a little bit of a slow burn at start, but like once it gets going, once that train gets going, like you don't want to get off. It's just absolutely outstanding.
And it's not made by the same people who made seasons 1 and 2. So that's to answer your question specifically. Well, it wasn't a question, it was a comment. It wasn't. It isn't. So the quick story is that Terry Matalas came in on season 2 to help. He ended up quickly just being relegated to season 3. Akiva Goldsman went to go do his own project. Alex Kurtzman went to go do his own project, and Terry was left there to just make the third season. And so he did it the way he wanted to do it. And that's why we got this wonderful season the way it is. So
yeah, it's great.
It is excellent.
Another super chat from Son of John. I was correct on the Picard Son and Founders, the podcast you hosted with Nerve-Wracking R&B. I have not seen the screener yet, but at this point I'm going to stop giving my 100% accurate theories.
Well said. Yeah, you know what's funny, Son of John, and thank you for the super chat so much. There was an article that came out by, I think it was Trek Movie, or I think it was Trek Movie, that said, is it a changeling, right? And it came out a couple of weeks ago. And I remember seeing it going, oh, come on, that's not right. Like we know changelings are coming, but we can't say anything. And they've seen the screener, so they shouldn't say anything either. Right. And so what it turned out to be is one of the bridge crew, actually, that kind of looks like Odo a little bit. And so they end up saying it's not that person. But, I got to tell you, there are some people who've seen screeners who kind of hint at things coming in the future. And you know who you are that have done it.
That was pretty impressive, though, because they were making a video. Like, listen, if they had not seen the screeners, they probably still would have made that video. It looked like a changeling.
It looks like it. Right. It did. It looked like it, and it was in the shadows. But what you realize, it was really a shot off the side of the bridge. And then when you actually, they get around to that character and show it, and then it's like, oh no, it's just an alien. And then it kind of goes into the whole who the alien is and stuff. It was a good little article, but a little bit sus, I would say, or as my son would say, sus.
I give him props though. Well done. All right. Is Riker a changeling? I don't know.
You do know, but you're not saying.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's.
I can't tell you.
Archmage Ray, you're talking about Brian hinting at important things for future. I'm trying not to do that. Okay.
Hint, hint. You're gonna want to see that part.
Just wait until you see Spock. Oh no!
I got to tell you, episode 3 was really artistically and cleverly done. I mean, I don't know if you guys caught it as you were going through. I'm sure you did. We're going to talk about it, but the whole thing of becoming a parent during a tragic moment with your child, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. The 17 seconds, really cool. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. Let's not spoil it.
Yeah.
How do I do this again? I click this button, right?
How do I?
What button do I press here? I think it's this button right here.
Oh my God! It happened again, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not trying to focus on that right now. I'm gonna have to.
I got you. I'm gonna close it.
I'm gonna figure it out. Just close that, and we're gonna have to figure it out afterwards. Clearly, it's gonna require an intense amount of my time and effort to correct whatever's going on there. So
that's a bummer.
It's a bummer, absolute bummer. But we're here, and this is not a bummer. So
this is great.
We are reviewing episode 3 of season 3, the final season of Star Trek Picard. And this is how it works. It's pretty simple, my friends. If we like something, we give it an upvote. We dislike something, we give it a downvote. And at the very end of the review, we're going to average that number and give you an official Popcast score. And for anyone that hasn't seen it yet, just to be clear, spoilers.
Oh yeah, we spoiling everything.
Yeah, we're going to go literally frame by frame. So when you see frame by frame review, spoilers. Every time.
Every time.
All right. Let's get into it. We're opening on this bald head guy.
We're opening on this bald
What's this guy's name again? Oh, yeah. Jean-Luc Picard.
Jean-Luc.
We got a quick super chat from Dustin Cole. I literally sat there at 1 a.m. with my jaw wide open when they revealed the changelings. I didn't see it coming. Yeah. It's great.
Neither did we when we first saw it. We're like, what?
Dude, when we first saw it, oh my God. I was stunned. I was shocked. I thought there was something sus about that one dude that he sizes up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in a million years I wouldn't have guessed changeling. Holy moly.
No, wasn't going for that at all.
Yeah. Really, really crazy. All right, guys. So we're opening up.
Great shot of the Shrike like attacking the Titan.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to play that, but yes, the Titan is they're being chased by the Shrike. They don't know why, but apparently the Shrike is able to catch them and find them all the time.
Yes.
And I love this. I love that the show opened up with the captain on the bridge. It's very Star Trek, and I'm going to open up with an upvote because this is just the beginning of how awesome Shaw is. So it's like, keep watching Shaw. He's a really great character.
Yeah, you do get those vestiges of like, okay, what's he all about? Well, we see he takes command here, which you need to see because in a lot of cases when Picard and Riker show up on bridges, they usually whoever's in charge is no longer in charge. So it was kind of nice to see that. And I would agree with an upvote here for Shaw.
All right, upvote for Shaw.
I'm blown away how much people love Shaw. Like it's just Shaw love all over the place.
Right.
And you guys haven't even seen him yet.
You haven't even seen the best parts, yeah.
You haven't even seen the best part of him
Right.
yet. And it's crazy how much kudos to Todd Stashwick for that. Just killed that role.
Yeah, the changeling goo did look different, and we're going to talk about that when we get to it. All right, and this shot of the ship, I like this. I can't even play it, but it's such a good shot of that over the way the camera pans over the top of the ship. It's beautiful. And of course, Vadic's back. All right, so they're being chased. They're being chased through the nebula, and they don't know how, but somehow, just to be clear, before we get into the Los Angeles thing, somehow the Shrike is able to detect them and find them everywhere they go.
Right.
All right. Now we're in Los Angeles in the past.
This is Los Angeles 2381. And it's funny because those are the buildings. When you go through Los Angeles now, you can see the Los Angeles, the Hollywood Hills back there behind it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I worked there for a really long time. It's a horrible city. It's disgusting. And in present day, Los Angeles is gross. Horrible
city. Well, yeah, no, Guinan told us all about that in season 2. Remember,
she wasn't lying. All right. Now the de-aging. Shane, you said you liked it.
Well, I didn't say I liked it. I said it was believable. Based on, listen, guys, this is one of the smallest budgeted science fiction TV shows ever. Mm-hmm. Probably right next to that show that's currently out right now on Sci-Fi Channel. What's that one?
The Ark?
The Ark, probably right next to the Ark. This is like $10 more per episode.
I'm pretty sure the Ark is using like a Steam video game engine for all their graphics. It's the worst.
Right. So for the money they had to do this, they did a good job because obviously it can always be okay, so let's go with Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, right? In the one Avengers movie where he's up there on stage talking about his parents where they de-aged him. I'm like, okay, that's the best de-aging. Okay. But this is when I started watching, I'm like, oh, Riker's younger.
Can I tell you the worst de-aging? Picard season 1 Data.
That is the worst. Did they even try to de-age him, or did they like just put him in makeup?
I think it was de-aging, but like his face was still like huge.
Right,
So
right.
bad.
It was scary. But so this is definitely, it looks like a younger Riker. So that I believe that it's before. So you can probably point out some things that aren't perfect. The biggest problem with Jean-Luc is that his face looks younger, but his voice doesn't.
His eyebrows, dude. His eyebrows need to be darker.
All right. I mean, I wasn't really going for that, but I mean, the face looks younger, but his voice sounds still like he's in his 90s.
That's true. It does.
And that's, you can't hide the voice.
Hello, Riker.
You can't hide that. But he does seem more virile, you know, and they seem younger here. So I was okay with it. What did you think?
Yeah. It gets the point across. Like, the point of this is they're trying to tell a story, and they need to show this. Like, this story is very important. Like, this moment where he explains the birth of his son in the 17 seconds and all that. That's all really important to stuff coming up. It's just not like fan service. It's not like they de-age just to de-age. But in order to show that they're having this awesome conversation at some point, so it plays into the present day. I mean, they're gonna have to de-age him. I mean, you can't. I don't know if makeup is not enough at this point for Patrick Stewart. You gotta use AI and computer graphics to get this guy to look a little bit younger.
Yeah, but you are right about the eyebrows. They should be darker.
Yeah. Brian Howard for $5. Jack said different groups came for them, and I thought changelings, and then I saw Troy scolding Riker in a clip. I wonder if that's also a changeling. I don't know. I don't know.
So you thought, when you said different groups came, see, initially when we saw it, I didn't think they were all related. I figured they were just different groups being hired to hunt down Jack.
Right.
I didn't think changelings.
Yeah. When we first saw it, we thought that people, like, he had a bounty on his head, because specifically it said there's a bounty on his head.
Right. So we just believed it, you know.
Right.
Of course.
All right. So this whole scene was good. I'm not upvoting the de-aging per se, but I'm gonna upvote. Huh?
I'm not gonna up or downvote it. Yeah.
I'm gonna upvote the scene though, because dude, Jonathan Frakes is just acting his butt off right now in this season.
I love their rapport. Mm-hmm. Like, I love how they talk to each other. You know, this has been missing from Star Trek for so long. You know, and we need to see. Listen, we got 7 seasons of number one listening to his captain. But realistically, let me tell you what happens. I mean, I'm a guy who I was in the Navy. And after you're done, serving in certain capacities, you become close to the people you may have worked for or worked for you.
Right.
So this is nice.
Yeah, I agree. And then we go back to present day.
We should just real quick. So in that scene, we need to break the scene down. So this is the scene where basically Riker explains Thaddeus is just born. And now this is the son that died during Picard season 1. Okay. So Thaddeus is born here just before this scene, apparently.
Right.
Or, whatever, months before. They're meeting here. And he's telling the story about how when Thaddeus was born, on the bridge, he got the call from medical that said, you need to come down here quick. It took 17 seconds for him to get from the bridge down the turbo lift to sickbay. And in that 17 seconds, he realized it was the worst moment of his life.
Yep.
And it's at that moment that both him and Picard realized that Riker became a father in those 17 seconds.
Right.
And it's important because it plays to something later in the show. We get a couple of funny jokes here where Picard says, Thaddeus is in great hands. He has, a wonderful parent, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, Deanna will take good care of him. It's kind of a joke at Riker. So
yeah, this scene like personally spoke to me too. Like, so I have 2 daughters, and I have one daughter that when she was born with like a chronic heart condition. And I got a similar car. Like, I'm literally like, I was up for like 3 days straight during the birth, and I went home to sleep while my wife and my kids were sleeping. And then I got a call at like 1 a.m. saying, you need to come down here, and with no context. And I'm rushing down there, and it's a horrible feeling. It is a disastrous feeling, not knowing what's wrong with your kid.
No, I actually had same thing. I was at work. I was working on the base at the time, and my youngest child was about, I want to say 3 months old. And I got a call from my wife saying that the paramedics are on the way. My son wasn't breathing. And she was at home with him. And so I had to get in my car and drive as fast as I could from work home. And it took about 7 to 10 minutes. And I couldn't get a hold of her on the phone because she had to stay on with the paramedics. And I literally had to drive all that way thinking that my infant couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Right. And thinking that basically he was going to die. So I completely understand what's happening here. Only it wasn't 17 seconds for me. It was like 7 to 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
Which was just a long time.
A lot
and
longer,
probably gave me some PTSD. So
yeah, and Deanna Troy, I can't play it, but Deanna Troy comes on and she tells him to get home and bring the whiskey.
Yeah, and bring the whiskey because I'm tired of taking care of this kid by myself. Yeah. And that's realistic too, by the way.
Deanna Troy, the everlasting lush.
What?
All right. Present day, we get this epic glamour shot of the Titan. God, it's a beautiful ship. And this creepy guy. Look at this dude. Great casting, by the way, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I saw him on Twitter. He's really excited. And I got to tell you, I know that he's going to take a lot of crap for being a bad guy here and being called creepy looking and all that stuff. But I got to tell him, he was so excited that this is like one of his first acting gigs, I guess, or, that he's actually being seen. And he has some moments. So really happy for him on Twitter.
I've seen this guy in a lot of things. What are you talking about?
You have?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, he acted like it. He finally got in front of a camera. So,
well, maybe it's the first time he's doing Star Trek. Maybe he's a Star Trek fan or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right. I mean, or he looks like someone else, like a doppelganger.
Yeah, he kind of looks like that guy from what was that show about the news reporter Candace Bergen played?
Oh, Murphy Brown.
Murphy Brown. She kind of looks like the news guy that, not the guy who was always like her assistant or whatever.
Yeah, I
the
remember
nervous guy.
Yeah, I guess he sort of looks like that. All right. All right. So once again, the Shrike is just like hunting these guys down. Like they just want to get out of the nebula, but everywhere they go, they're running into the Shrike because the Shrike is able to track them. And this is a constant thing. Now, this scene, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just want to add that it's going to be 2 hours before they're warp capable. Right. So they've been damaged enough so that they can't go to warp. Because a lot of people are going to be like, why didn't they just go to warp? Well, they were damaged and can't go to warp. So
right, and they can't go to warp inside the nebula either, right?
Right, that's right. Something about the nebula, they can't go to warp.
Yeah, so they got to get to the outskirts of the nebula. Very cool. Very Wrath of Khan, very submarine. Like
very Crimson cool. Tide, which we'll be talking about.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just one more thing here. In this moment, before you get to Seven's quarters, you see something about Shaw that it's a characterization, a small one, but he dismisses these bridge officers because they've been on watch for a long time. So he's been kind of shown to us as being kind of this hard ass, right? Mm-hmm. But now you can see he has a lot of sympathy for the people that work for him. And so that empathy that now that starts to change his character a little bit. Right. And you can see his character starting to adjust.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. You know what? Chappie is right. That guy he played the genius in the first Fast and Furious movie.
Oh.
That's why I recognize him. Thank you, Chappie.
I mean, you are like hardcore Fast and Furious fan. So
I am. I should have known. Dustin like Cole, he's the computer nerd from Fast and Furious. Thank you for $5.
Oh, thanks, right. Dustin.
Yeah. So he's been acting for a while, dude. Fast and Furious is a whole movie. I
guess so. I don't know. He was pretty excited on Twitter about getting the role. So
yeah, maybe he just really wanted to be a changeling. All right. All right. Now where was Seven? Now Seven has been confined to quarters for what is the word?
Insubordination.
Insubordination. That's the word.
Before you get to Seven here, though, you see a die cut of the USS. There it is, right there. The die cut of the USS Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice because it's part of her history. So we should see something like that in her quarters.
Yeah, I'm gonna upvote that just because I want one. Like
I'll upvote that Roddenberry.
Yeah, it has a sweet Roddenberry. All right, she gets a knock at the door, and it is Sydney LaForge, just checking up on her first officer or whatever, lieutenant or commander or whatever.
Her XO, yeah.
Her XO. And I'm gonna paraphrase here, but she says some very nice things. She says that, she understands how Seven feels because she felt the same way because her dad's like this legendary.
Oh, really, Sydney? So the Borg took you away,
right,
from birth, and then you were rescued by the Federation, and you know how it feels to go from not being human to human, huh, Sydney? Right. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. I'm being too hard on the young lady.
You're right. She's just trying to be helpful, but and I appreciate that, Sydney, but her situation really isn't like Seven's situation.
It's not at all like
at all.
Seven, but it's a moment where you're trying to here's what they really wanted to do is they wanted to give 7 of 9 an ally,
right,
on the ship, which makes sense. She ends up calling her Commander 7, which seems to brighten 7's demeanor.
Yeah, and that's nice of her. And she does. She calls her 7 of 9, and she also says that her dad wouldn't have gotten mad at her for insubordination, but
right. She's like, "Who's your dad?" I'm sorry.
Listen, if LaForge was my dad, I'd be name dropping him too, bro. Kidding me?
I'd be like, my dad.
My dad, LaForge.
Greatest engineer.
The legendary LaForge. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. All right, so we're in the medical bay. This is one of those clips that were like haunting me earlier. So, this is what is she?
She's now my least favorite medical officer.
Yeah, but
of all
what
time.
species? Betazoid? No.
Yeah. I can barely see. No, she's Betazoid. It looks like it with the tattoos on her. I can barely see through your little screenshot.
Yeah, it's Betazoid, like what Dax was in DS9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like super rude for like no reason. Like,
I got to tell you, it's a weird alien to have on your ship because there's so much to a Betazoid, not a Betazoid. It's not a Betazoid.
Oh.
Why am I saying that's Deanna Troy's?
Right. I have to that. Someone tell me what it is. Trill. It's Trill. It's Trill. Thank you guys. Thank you. Trill.
So the problem with the Trill, you know why we're blocking out Trill? Because Discovery made us.
Discovery ruined the Trill. I forgot about that.
They didn't ruin them, but they definitely made it.
Dude, they made it real weird and like unscientific and like.
It was weird.
It's real weird.
But this character, like, it's always hard because when you see a Trill, you think, oh, well, this person has a symbiote. And so there's just so much more to the character than you realize. And so you want to know more about that character. Well, this symbiote, no matter how many lifetimes they've lived, they're an asshole. So she was totally rude to Beverly here, saying it would take me longer to teach you than just to do it myself. And very rude. Did not like it.
But here's the deal. That's a weird statement because it's not like it's Discovery going 989 years into the future.
I know, it was kind of weird.
It's like she didn't travel into the future. She's just a little older.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 20 years, I guess.
Like,
so,
but she hasn't freshened up on any medical textbooks in 20 years, I guess.
I'm sure she has, but it does seem kind of weird. It's kind of a weird thing to throw in here, and I'm just not sure what the purpose was, other than the purpose might have been to show Jack's protection of his mom. Maybe that's why they put it in, because he jumps in there and he like starts getting,
Yes, I think
fighting
it was for
back
that.
At her.
I think it was for that. It was to show like how much he loves his mom.
And I think that's important because they haven't established the relationship between these two characters yet. We've seen very little about it, and we need to see that there's this mother-son bond here, or else then it doesn't become very believable. So they tried to use it in that way, and that's fine. But I will say that she definitely, this poor actress here is like, man, everybody's going to hate me for dressing down Dr. Crusher.
Here's the deal, though. Anthony, you're right. Geordi did the same thing to Scotty, but Scotty didn't just get a little older. He was stuck in a transport loop on that Dyson sphere, right? For like 80 years.
And you got to remember, Geordi was trying to placate him. So you got to remember from that episode, like Geordi's like trying to placate Scotty, and he's like, this, and trying to be gentle about it. And finally, but Mr. Scott, he's like, he's going to break in, he's going to do Scotty things. And so finally, Geordi had to be like, hey, and that was the difference. Here, this is like the first communication between these two people, and she's like smacking her around. So,
and again, she didn't time travel. She's not 100 years older. She's 22 years older. I mean, than last time she was on active duty.
Well, if she learned no new medicine in 20 years, I mean, that is a long time. But you still know how to use a tricorder. You still know how to,
Again, though, like, I don't know if it's the same. Like, Scotty was stuck in a transport loop. All right. But yeah, I guess he was also, you're right. I think you're right. I think Geordi was just trying to placate him. And
he was. Yeah.
Scotty will not be placated. Damn it.
Well, he didn't want, and it was a great episode about like, getting older and being irrelevant. And, the last time he was around, he was very relevant.
How about that weird paradox that the reason they have transparent aluminum is because Scotty gave him transparent aluminum.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I love it.
Like no one, that's a paradox that no one's figured out yet. So clearly it's a weird writing loop, but it's cool.
I mean, other than like, it's all make-believe, but yeah, totally.
I understand it's make-believe. but I
mean, we're not,
the point of this is we're trying to make sense of all Star Trek. Right. You're the guy who literally wrote theories just trying to explain how Discovery exists. not how it actually operates, just how the ship exists.
You mean the floating nacelles? Yeah, I got you.
The floating nacelles. Oh God, we can't stop talking about Discovery, man.
Sorry,
it's funny how you're like this make believe, but you've made like hour-long videos, literally just theorizing about how the new Trek can come into be. Like
in all fairness, you forced me to, but yeah,
I did force you. I did. That's true. I did. I enjoyed every goddamn minute.
I am your slave. All right, keep going.
All right. So Picard comes down and looks, hey, Dr. Crusher, you got some explaining to do.
Oh, this was really uncomfortable. They played this off really well. It's like, uh-oh.
Look at that face, though, right?
Oh, you see it. He did a great job. Like
Beverly.
Beverly, I'd like a word.
Beverly.
Riker's like, hey, kid, why don't we go do something else while these two have a fight? All right.
Beverly. Yeah. All right. So, I'm not going to recap the entire conversation, but I'll tell you this.
Oh, I will.
Oh, you want to recap? Okay, you go ahead, and I'll share my thoughts.
Wait, you play. No, you play.
Jean-Luc Picard.
You have to play Jean-Luc Picard because obviously you got the voice better.
I'll be Jean-Luc Picard.
Okay, and I'll be Beverly Crusher.
Beverly.
Jean-Luc.
I don't want to do this anymore. It's weird. Look, so he wants to know why he doesn't know about his kid. And her explanation is, your life is dangerous. I tried to tell you. There was always some other crisis around the corner. Some of the crisis that she explained was hilarious. Like he was taken at gunpoint by whatever.
They were pretty funny. Like bombs going off at his side. Like,
right.
Like all kinds of really dangerous things that really probably didn't happen during TNG.
Apparently, like he was so active that she only had like a total or accumulated 9 days in which she could have possibly have told him about his child.
But he calls her on it. I love that. Like
over 25 years or 20.
You know what I love about it? He takes no shit from her on this.
He doesn't.
Like,
You're right.
In previous Star Trek shows, he would be kowtowing. He'd have his tail between his legs as he's being properly reprimanded by the woman in the room. Okay. And in this case, he gives it right back to her. And you know what's cool? They go back and forth and you kind of agree with each one of them as they talk.
Yeah.
And you're
I see both their points.
Point of view.
Yep.
Yep. And I'm going to upvote this scene because this is a great scene.
Yeah. Great
People
scene.
needed to know why Beverly wouldn't tell Jean-Luc he had a kid. Like, and right. I mean, telling you for a week, all I heard people would say, there is no good reason. There is no good reason. And you know what? At the end of this scene, you're right. In the end, she made a mistake. She should have told him.
Right.
But you can understand why she didn't, even though now looking back at it, it was the wrong choice.
Well, that line when she goes like, I knew I can protect my kid. I didn't know if I can protect yours.
Right.
Because
you're
people
like,
are always gunning for Picard.
Yeah, and here's what's funny is she made an assumption, right? This is interesting because the Picard says something great. He goes, "How do you made the choice for me? How do you know what I would have done had I known I had a kid? And you told me you were worried about his life being in danger or whatever. He might have given it up.
Mm-hmm.
What could have been? I could have been a father. I could have been a husband, right, dude? I mean, it's just like emotionally wrecking me.
Yeah, when he goes, "How dare you take that from me? How dare you, Beverly?"
Right. Yeah. And then, dude, it's not over. Even when you think it's over, like they go to a scene with Riker and Jack and like they do this whole thing. But then he comes back and he's like,
I'm not done with you, Beverly.
Dude, don't you think that Jack and I deserved a chance? And then we learn, which is really important, and you'll want to know this, is that she told him about Jean-Luc.
Yes, she told him about Jean-Luc, and he didn't want. And she said what she said was he didn't want anything to do with him.
Right. She encouraged him to search him out, but he didn't want to have anything to do with him, which is an important point moving forward.
Look at that disapproving look right there, Beverly. Not now, Doctor. I always think whenever they interact, I think of that one scene where they were like super horny for each other because of some kind of.
Well, it wasn't him.
No, he was under the same effects. He was just controlling it better.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
So they were all under like these these super horny, this horny thing. I forgot a virus or something made them really horny, and she was like, "Captain, I need to see him right away." And she walks in there, and he's like, he looks around. He's like, "What do you need, Doctor?" And she's just like coming on to him. He's like, he gets real close. He goes,
I love those clips. You've been playing those clips on our video.
Not now, Doctor.
Just hilarious.
But Captain, not now, Doctor. It's the best thing. That whole scene is like a masterclass of subtle comedy because his little like grunts and moans where he's trying to control himself and keep his dignity, but he clearly is having a hard time keeping control of himself. It's great.
Dude, when you cut that up just right, when you do shortcuts and edits, it really looks a little disgusting.
Yeah. I did that on purpose.
It looks a little dirty.
When he's like, and she's like,
I don't know. It's the video. If you guys haven't seen it yet. So if you guys want to know, like, because they don't explain exactly.
The Naked Now. That's what it's called. Thank you, Joey. Yeah, it's The Naked Now. And
they don't explain exactly. Like they explain what happened here. So they were on 2 months before she left the Enterprise. They got together during a shore leave, and that's when they conceived Jack. So we actually did a whole video before this week came out, kind of talking about when he could have possibly been. And during that video, Brian puts a bunch of these weird edits.
I put as many of. I found like every possible clip of them just being horny for each other. or horny in general to put it in. This is the only way I can enjoy editing for 22 hours straight, is if I get to inject weird horny stuff into the video. Just so everyone's complaining about it, okay?
Softcore porn, basically.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. This is my signature. My signature is a little creepy. Put a little creepy on it, and that's the Brian signature, okay?
A little creepy. kind of like our crewman that's wandering around the ship as a changeling.
Yeah, by the way, someone said even Data got horned up in that thing. Notice that the only person in the Naked Now that didn't get horned up was Worf. So either he was immune, or he was afraid he was going to murder someone if he lost control.
They didn't want to write that into the scene. Oh, no, Klingons not going to happen because they kill people when they have sex. I do not want to kill. I mean, there were so many jokes about Worf killing people.
Yeah. In case you guys forgot, it is now canon that Klingons have 2 male appendages.
Dude, you will never let anybody forget that. Do you know how many times you brought that up?
Let me be clear. The only thing that Discovery ever added to canon that has any value is giving Worf 2 penises.
Right. Yeah.
Because that adds up all kinds of questions.
It does. It explains so many things.
Worf was with a lot of chicks, okay? And you're like, damn,
now we know why.
Damn.
Now we know why.
Now I know why. Get it, girl. Yeah. All right. We got so off.
We got really off here.
This is your fault. This is your fault.
No, I blame you.
Look at that face he's making right there.
He's like, oh
no, Brian, not another creepy clip. Oh.
No more.
Yeah, you're right. They really do argue it a long time. Listen, I see both their points. Obviously, she made a mistake, but that last line that she gave when she said, like, I just want to protect my kid, and I don't think I could have protected yours. That is a good line because his life is full of adventure. People constantly trying to murder him. They cloned an entire person just to find this guy. Picard,
like right around the time they did it. Yeah.
Right. Jean-Luc Picard is he's a dangerous guy, not because he's dangerous, but because if you're around him by proxy, you're in danger. That's just the way it is. I get it.
Yeah. So we understand why she made the choice, but she still should have given him the choice.
Right.
Right. Because she could have been like, look, if you don't want to leave this life, yeah, I'm just going to take him and keep him. Yeah. But she, she wasn't thinking like that. So
I like what Joy said. I think she made the right mistake.
Okay.
And Dave Cohen, detached warps nacelles. The end.
Oh yeah, Dave.
2 penises and detached warp nacelles. That is the legacy that is.
No.
Star Trek Discovery.
No, and also a crying Kelpian that pretty much destroyed.
Wait. You're missing something. The fact that the ship identifies sexually and needs a therapist. The ship. Jesus.
Well, for those of you wondering, the Discovery season 5 will be the final season of Discovery. It was announced during this live stream. Came out.
God.
So that will be the end, and that's going to go along. You guys want to stay tuned until later because we're going to be talking about Paramount having money problems and what does this mean for Star Trek stuff going forward, because we know things that are happening on the inside that might be a little bit weird for Star Trek. So
yeah, there's projects that haven't been announced yet that we're aware of that we don't know how it happens if they don't have any money. But I totally understand, and we'll get to this, but we understand why Discovery is being canceled. It's too expensive regardless. Like, it's bad and it's expensive. Jeez.
Yeah, well, somebody I watched, who was I watching earlier, said that they got like 80,000 people watching it every episode or something. I mean, it's more than that, obviously. But, not enough to pay for a $10 million an episode show.
Listen, if we're getting more views than Star Trek Discovery, then something's wrong. That's all I'm saying.
We're not, but it was funny to say.
Yeah, so this was a cool moment too. Like, so Riker's basically trying to talk up his old man,
Yeah.
And Jack is not buying it. And a
little bit. He's kind of buying into it a little bit.
But he says that line though. It's like, legends never live up to the hype, basically.
Right. Which is foreshadowing. But also, I love the line Riker says, "Feel free to call me
foreshadowing."
Captain. What's that?
Did we switch places this stream or what?
No, it's foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm, okay.
I mean, that really doesn't say anything, I don't think.
All right.
Do you think it gives away anything?
I'm just being super careful because I'm tired of getting yelled at after the stream.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So foreshadowing means yes. But I don't think that, like, when you show some guy and you're like, oh, pay attention to that guy, that's a lot different.
Guys, that guy right there. Don't take your eyes off of him.
That guy, yeah. By the way, the guy who's now a changeling.
The guy who's now a changeling. I did. I realized after the fact that was a mistake. But I did. At least I didn't say changeling.
Right. That's what.
Or write a whole article about it.
That's true. Now, my favorite line from this little scene right here is when Riker tells him, you can feel free to call me Captain.
Yeah.
And I just love that they just layer in the professionalism every time when you're like, oh, they're going to be buddies. That's not what Star Trek is about. Yeah. Right. There's structure and there's rank and I love that that Riker's always bringing it back to that, separation of feelings a little
If
bit.
this was Discovery, they would have made out by now.
Can you imagine if they made Riker gay?
Oh my
Go back
god!
to, he left Deanna so he could be with Picard's son Jack. Jack Crusher and Riker.
Oh
Come
my
on,
god!
man.
Oh, there's so many people's heads would just explode on like live stream.
There would be mass suicide across the Star Trek universe.
Gary would just start the stream like this.
And his head would explode, right?
You see his veins just pulsating.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, it's
Okay,
great.
enough fun. You've had too much liquid meth.
Bro, this stuff is crazy. And knowing that I'm going to spend like the next 6 hours probably trying to fix that video, I got to laugh, bro, because if I don't laugh, I can only cry.
Okay, then laugh away.
All
laugh
right.
away, my friend.
By the way, I'm upvoting Jack because damn it, I love Jack, dude. I'm loving this character more and more. And here's the deal: if you are starting to like Jack Crusher, you haven't seen nothing yet. Just like if you like Shaw, you haven't seen nothing yet. Like
It's true. Yeah, we're still building.
These characters get better and better and better.
Yeah. Good call.
Sam, don't give him ideas.
Sorry, we should not speak things into existence.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Imagine if that happened. I would just uninstall my channel. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
The two things that you clipped it when it went bloop bloop, like the two things was like, right. Look at him. Look at the way he's looking at him.
Hey, Jack. How you doing?
Hey, come on over here, buddy.
Hey.
Oh wait, not a good look.
Hey, Uncle Riker. Jesus, even creepier when I say Uncle. I'm so sorry.
So disturbing.
I'm so sorry.
Back on the bridge.
Yeah, back on. No, we're not. No, we're back with Beverly.
This is the moment when he does the whole like, didn't we deserve a chance?
Yeah, that's true. And it was a good line. Good line. I'm not making fun of it. That was a great line. This whole scene, by the way, was great.
Yeah.
And by the way, everything we're making fun of is like Discovery because everything in this show so far is rock solid.
Yeah.
This was a long scene, though. I didn't realize
it's unresolved, though. When Picard learns that his son didn't want to have anything to do with him, even after he found out about him, something happens to him here. If you notice, he looks at him funny. He kind of looks away, can't really look at him. And then he takes off in the scene. And Riker, Picard immediately wants to throw himself into the danger that they're in, which is probably the right thing to do. I mean, you're literally in a life or death situation.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
this is not the time to talk about our feelings.
Right.
We're being hunted in an unknown nebula by a crazy chain smoker with a weapon that we've never seen before. Of course.
Right. And we complained a lot about Discovery spending all their time like in the middle of battle or the middle of like dangerous situations, just talking about their feelings. So it was cool to see Picard like say, we're going to get out of this. Now, Riker tried to do the whole thing. Well, you need to talk to him. And he's like, it's done deal. It's done. He don't want to have nothing to do with me. So at this point in Picard's mind, he's kind of given up that anything can possibly happen here between him and his new son. Yeah,
the way he walks by him and just sort of dismisses him.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Mm-hmm. That was good. It's good. This whole thing was good. Although,
upvote the fact that we get back to business instead of sit here and cry in the corridor the whole episode.
Bro, I forgot to mention, and this is where like the retroactive upvotes are going to happen. I'm not going to actually display retroactive upvotes, but remember there was things that we talked about in episode 1 and 2 that we couldn't talk about until we got reveals, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the first episode, when Jack thinks he's going to die and he looks at Picard and he goes, "It was really nice meeting you."
Yeah. Well, so now we know that was because it was his father.
Like that was, and Picard just, he did not knowing anything. He just sort of wrote it off as, all right, yeah, cool, man. Nice meeting you too. But the way he said it now, knowing that he's his son and all this baggage that exists, like that is
right.
That is crazy.
Well, he thought maybe they were going to die. So that also kind of gives you a hint as to maybe how Jack really feels deep inside.
Because Jack knows that he's his kid.
Yes, Jack knew.
All right, so that's what makes it more powerful to me.
Yeah, looking back on it now, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, Well said.
Yeah, what a moment. Okay. I'm loving Ed Splitters. I even started watching that stupid show that he's in. The one with the sword. What's it called? The guy with the sword. He's Irish or something. Oh, Highlander.
He's in Highlander?
He's in Highlander, yeah.
You know, he was in Aragon, that kids book about the dragons.
Yeah, that's right.
He was the main character.
I did not like that movie.
Yeah, it was okay. The book was way better.
Yeah, I didn't like the movie at all.
It's like I did not like that movie at all.
No, I actually I think I actively disliked it.
It wasn't that bad.
Maybe age gives you, obviously age, wisdom, right?
I don't think he was the problem in that movie, anyways.
All right.
So,
okay, so back to business. They go on the bridge and they're like, Shaw. I'm gonna stop doing Picard's voice. Shaw. Shaw's look how stressed out he is.
Things aren't going well.
The
villain is smoking on her bridge. Things are not going well.
They walk in there, he's just like, people fighting us. He's talking to himself. He's stressing out right now. And they're down there just having like a heart to heart. And he's like, I can't keep this ship together. It just goes to show how much, like, their actions. The reason he's in this mess is because the two people just walked on that bridge.
That's true.
Remember that. So every action he has after here, the reason he's in this mess is because of these two guys and what they decided to do. So don't criticize his candor when, from his perspective, he's only in this mess because of these two guys.
I don't think they will. I mean, the candor is good. Also, one thing from Beverly that we missed earlier is she does explain to Picard. He asks her, why Vadic is after them, and she says she thinks that she knows he's going after Jack, but she feels like has something to do with him. So that's as writers, we don't put things in unless we want you to put them in. So just note that.
Are you saying foreshadowing?
No, I would just say, okay. One thing I hate about TV shows is when they give us useless information.
Oh yeah.
And knowing that, and we've already told you, there's no useless information in this show.
Right.
So everything everybody says has a point. So we have to look at it like that. And if you're a smart person, which all of our viewers are for sure.
Yeah.
When you hear her say that, well, that's obviously a signal. So there you go.
Yeah. So just a reminder, Terry Matalas, who wrote this, also wrote 12 Monkeys, which is one of the most well-written, intricate time travel TV series ever made. It is, most people agree that the way it was put together, the way he hyperlinked and connected everything across timelines, across seasons, things that he said in the first episode of 12 Monkeys had bearing in the last episode of 12 Monkeys. You have to understand that.
Right.
This guy, he's an excellent writer. He connects everything so that by the time you're done with this epic tale, you have such an appreciation for everything you already saw. So just remember that when you watch this. There's nothing useless going on. Terry Matalas doesn't do useless. He doesn't just throw random things out there just for fun. There's a purpose for everything.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that we need to recognize that Jonathan Frakes was just on the after show, the Wesley Crusher, Will Wheaton after show, After Trek or whatever. And when he asked, how did you guys put all this together? Frakes told, because Frakes directed episode 3, he goes, I just watched episodes 1 through 4 all together for the first time. This is Frakes telling Will. And he said, I watch it all and I'm just blown away by it. And Will says, well, how did you guys do that? And you know what Frakes says? He goes, Terry Matalas. That's how we did it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the amount of overwhelming positive love that this crew, all of the actors, they always say it's Terry Matalas. It's Terry Matalas.
Yeah.
Everybody's throwing credit. Every time somebody says, you guys are amazing, it's Terry Matalas. Yeah. I mean, it's the same broken
literally
record
every time. Every interview we've ever seen, they constantly give credit to Terry Matalas. And see, guys, by the way, actors are most actors have, at the very least, a streak of narcissism in them, right? That's sort of their gig. The fact that every one of these actors are constantly giving Terry Matalas credit for something that they're being complimented on is huge.
Right, and what it shows you is that there is a genuine. So when Terry is doing his stuff here, there's a genuine love and care when he's writing for these characters and when he's working with these actors, and those actors feel that back. That's why you get this. Whenever you hear about somebody like James Gunn, kind of gets the same thing from he's got mad loyalty from the people that work for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when you get directors like that and showrunners and writers and stuff like that, you got magic going on and need to hold on to that. So hopefully we get a lot more of this in the future.
And this is why a lot of writers and directors and like actors like that work well together. They do, like, a lot of them like to stick it out. Like, you have like crews of people, even if they make bad movies, they just sort of make movies together. Like they enjoy making movies together. Terry Matalas likes to take people from, when he makes a connection with someone and you can tell it doesn't work, he brings them to the next thing,
Mm-hmm.
Like Jerry Ryan was, when he helped produce that MacGyver crap. And that's where he met Jerry Ryan. It's like Jerry Ryan, that was a big part of him doing Star Trek.
He met her on Voyager originally.
No, but he reconnected though when she played that role as MacGyver's aunt or whatever.
Yes, they reconnected there, became closer. Yeah,
right.
And now, of course, it leads to Picard. So
rock and roll. Yeah, a lot of respect amongst these people. All right. Okay. And so tragedy strikes. Uh-oh. Can I ask you a question? Why don't starships have seatbelts?
that is the old adage. Because if they had seatbelts, then we wouldn't have these great scenes where people went flying around the bridge. It's the same people that complain about, okay, because right now everybody said, "Why?" Great question, right? Why wouldn't you do that? Like, because people will get hurt. But it's the same thing where people ask questions like, well, why didn't they know they were changelings? They could have just, when they transported on board, they should have known immediately they were changelings. The problem is you're right. In the future, we could probably figure out every solution to every problem. But if we knew the solution to every problem,
there would be a story.
There would be no story. There'd be no drama.
And just so you guys know, there is an answer for the changeling thing too. Like, keep watching. Terry Matalas isn't dumb. Okay, I'm
just saying these are like, there's little things. There's like people who like point out these small things. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, it's fun to do. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying,
that's what we do.
Why don't they have seatbelts? But hopefully, in the back of your mind, you're saying, "Oh, come on, why don't they have seatbelts?" And you're not saying, "Why don't they have seatbelts?" Like, there's two totally different. Like, why don't they have seatbelts? Why don't they have seatbelts? The people are going, "Why don't they have seatbelts?" Those guys, you guys, hopefully none of you guys, but the people who do that, just sit back and enjoy the ride a little bit.
Yeah. So you're right. I agree with you. So Shaw gets hurt. He gets hurt. Damn it.
He got hurt pretty bad too.
Captain Shaw is quite injured. And he looks at Riker and he says, "You got us into this mess. You're going to get us out."
He's got like a bone sticking out of his leg.
He has a bone sticking out of his leg. He's like, "You're going to get us out of this mess." And he goes, ship or whatever, authorize sumption tomato basil soup. Make Riker the captain, basically.
Yeah. And then the ship says back, "Yeah, he was just the captain recently. We're good.
We're good to go, bud." And what's funny is, he literally has a bone. Look at that.
He's standing up with a bone sticking out. Like, come on, lay down, man.
Yeah. Look, there's a bone sticking out of his leg. A piece of the bone. It's crazy.
Look at the look on Frank's.
He's like, holy!
He's like, holy crap! You got a bone sticking out of your leg. Upload the bone sticking out of the leg, please.
Someone get this guy to sick bay.
He's like, yeah, that moment where he's like, "Yeah, I'm a captain again. I'm in charge." He felt that in his stomach. He's like,
yeah.
Even though Shaw's like hurt,
right. He's like, "Oh yes,"
because he immediately takes charge, dude. He don't waste a second. He's like, once he's like out of here, he's like, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do."
Yeah, immediately he sits down. And Picard sits next to him in the spot normally reserved for number one, and then he has that line. I
love that joke. He's like, "I think it's time for you to call me number one."
And the face he made too, he's like, "Number one." And he has like this sort of sarcastic look on his face. I mean, dude, Patrick Stewart still brings the heat, man. You know what's crazy is Patrick Stewart in this season is like peak Patrick Stewart. When in other seasons, in season 1 and season 2, I just felt like he was just
Yeah,
Was
because
he just drunk the whole time? Like what?
no, because sword sharpens sword, man. And when these characters came back, here's what I think. I mean, I think that part of seasons 1 and 2 was really okay. He's like the character's older, the character's more like me, and I think he allowed too much Patrick Stewart to slide into Picard, you know. And then this episode, having his crew around him, he realized I think he was able to delve deeper back into character and actually be Picard again because he was surrounded by the people who he was Picard around in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I think you're right. And these faces that he makes, like when he sees Beverly down there, that disappointed, disapproving face, like you buy it immediately.
I mean, that's his face, dude. Like 7 seasons of TNG, 95% of the time, his face is disappointed.
Well, but even now, like when he makes that joke and he has like that little like glimmer in his eye and he turns away, like that's acting. We didn't see that in season 1 and season 2. We saw Picard. A guy reading lines. That's it.
Right. That's Picard. That's who Picard is.
Right.
That twinkle.
The twinkle, yeah, like you see life. There's life in that soulless robotic brain. Sorry,
my headcanon just dismisses that. By the way,
it was funny though. Like even Jack was like, "Oh, I heard it was a positronic now." Huh?
They make some jokes at it. I mean,
yeah, it was funny because like that was like I feel like that was the writers being like, "God, that was such a stupid idea. Let's just make fun of it right now."
Hey, Michael Chabon, Akiva, listen, guys. I just don't know why you did that. Like, honestly, why give him a robot body?
Makes no sense.
And then have him be the exact same age. And then, like, what was the point?
Right.
Like, listen, here's the lesson. God. If you write shit like that, like ever write shit like that again, stop. Surround yourself with people who won't stick their nose up your butt, and then go back and rewrite it. Right. We'll wait. We'll wait because that was shit. That was terrible.
You're right. See, iron sharpens iron, and this is the problem. You have Terry Metalis working with people as a team, and they're like, what does he say in all the interviews? Like, if you guys watch our reviews at the end, there's interviews. He talks about his partners in the writing room, throwing tossing ideas around. It was a team effort, right? Like maybe he masterminded everything, but there was a team effort there. So that means that I'm pretty sure that if he had a bad idea, someone's like, I don't know about that, bud. And they can go back and forth. Like iron sharpens iron. Like the actors, they appreciate him because they worked with him. They didn't work for him, right?
Right.
So the thing about Akiva and Michael Chabon, though, you're not telling Michael Chabon, award-winning writer, like, you know what I mean? He won awards for some like Sundance,
No, he's actually.
I don't know, dude. I don't even know. But what I'm saying is like, how are you going to tell someone who was clearly acclaimed, whether it's deserved or not, that they're wrong if they don't have the attitude where he can accept criticism?
Right. Well, or if you don't even know if they're giving criticism. I mean, this is the way I envision the season 1 writing room. Hey, what do you guys think about Picard? We just turn him into a robot. We'll get it there. And everybody's like, oh, okay. Inside they're going, that's fucking stupid. But, everybody wants a job, so they're like, yeah, Michael, looks sound good to me.
Yeah, it can work. It can work.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
No, that's that thing you do where you don't want to commit to like saying it's a good idea. You go, you know what? I can see that.
I mean, we've all been in these situations where we just don't really care enough. Right. The problem is you got to have somebody in the writer's room who's willing to who's willing to die on that hill. Right. Be like, hey, listen, Mr. Chabon, look, I know that I'm just getting your coffee, but I've been watching Star Trek for 35 years, and that's the craziest damn thing I've ever heard. Please don't do that, sir. Please.
Don't do that, sir.
Yeah, I mean,
listen, sir, please don't, sir. What's funny is when that was introduced, like, did you not think right away, oh, they're going to replace Picard with a younger actor?
That's exactly what we were talking about. Yeah. Oh, this is the end of Picard. All right.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. But
if we were going to do it,
if you need to replace him, I guess that is a reasonable explanation on how you replace him, right?
Yeah, if you wanted like a younger Picard, which by the way, I don't think would have been a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea, but if you want to go that route, this is like a sci-fi way of doing it, right?
100%.
Yeah, but to do it and not replace him,
to replace him with the exact same
same thing.
dude.
It's
right.
It was literally
Crazy.
you made him a robot to cure a disease in the 24th century.
I know.
Like it's such a weird roundabout way of curing someone of it. So
well,
weird.
we have to remember the whole season was about, treating synthetics bad. Once again, when you get away from telling a Star Trek story properly and you're telling a different story instead about how we treat people who are on the outside, wonder what that was about, right? I wonder what that was about. This when you end up with garbage at the end.
Right.
I mean, sorry.
Clearly they were talking about cell phones, Shane. Okay.
That was season 2, bro.
Chat
What's this, a cell phone? Looks like a communicator.
That's
what the
right.
hell's going on?
That's it. Oh my God. I don't know why we're talking about this right now, but do you remember, wasn't there like this weird, like random device that did whatever they needed to do?
Yes, that was the on board Cristobal ship.
What was that?
It was, we don't know what it was. It was the magic device that allowed them to do whatever they needed to do for the show to move forward properly.
It's so
It was
weird.
a MacGuffin.
And no one explained it whatsoever.
No one explained what it was, but it made the ship go all of a sudden. Like the ship couldn't go anywhere, and it made it go exactly where it needed to go. And it was like, what just happened?
Dude, there was no explanation as to where this thing came from or what it did.
It was so weird. This is like revisiting our reviews from season 1.
We better get back to this. We got back to this. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I don't know why we're talking about this.
It's you and your damn drink there. It's causing it.
Look at guys, charged up at Panera Bread.
That's whatever.
Liquid meth.
Keep going, man. Keep going.
It's legal over the counter.
For now.
All right. So
Raffi, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Raffi wakes up back on the La Serena. And I guess it's the La Serena, right?
I'm sorry.
Did the La Serena
real quick? No, yeah, she's on the La Serena. But real quick,
didn't the La Serena become the Borg ship at the end of season 2? Did they go back and there was another La Serena?
Wait, yeah.
Oh yeah. So they came back. There was still another La Serena, and the Borg ship came through the time barrier from another alternate.
So that was like an alternate. Oh God, it's so confusing. You know, it's
so I guess
we made a video explling the timelines. And and it was a perfect explanation, and they just shit all over it. They were like, you know what? That's a great idea. Let's not do any of that.
So back here,
Sam is right though. Is the Borg Queen needs lithium, so she
don't go there.
So she starts eating car batteries.
We had a whole episode about this
because
last year.
the writers do not know that there's a difference between a lithium battery and a car battery.
Oh my God, I don't want to relive that again. God, that was terrible.
Imagine that, bro. They couldn't even
mouth
Google
would be
search.
dripping, the skin, the human skin would be
what's in
falling
a
off.
lead acid battery?
Come on, dog.
Okay, so she wakes up, there's opera playing, and there's this, and she thinks she's being intruded on.
Yes, Les Troyans Opera 29.
You know what's crazy? Somehow even this season makes the La Serena look a little cooler. Maybe it's the color of the lights or something.
That is the only identifying piece of the La Serena to me. Like when I see that, that's where the Borg Queen was. This is this area. Yeah. And of course we have
Shane.
We have an intruder. She thinks there's an intruder.
I have one of those panels.
What?
Our mutual friend, not Terry, the one of the guys that we talked about, he's giving me one of these panels.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told him I was going to get it for you, but he can drop it off.
Thanks, man.
One day you will get it, but I'm going to use it first.
That's fine. You put it up and do what you got to do. Yeah, because the La Serena. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so what's interesting here is, of course, Worf is the one who got her last time, and she thinks it's an intruder, right? And so she's like, pulls a phaser on him basically, and I love this because Worf just like. He's sitting here doing the makbara, right? We got to say it like
say it. Yeah. By the way, I in the script we wrote earlier today, I put the most wild version of that in there.
I knew you would. I read it like 3 or 4 times because I'm like, I don't know. Should I say it like a Klingon or should I just say it regular?
Yeah, I put it like makbara.
Makbara. Makbara. It's a Klingon martial arts exercise that Worf does.
It's like Klingon yoga.
I guess, yeah.
With a
You know how
sword.
martial arts, they're like doing their like
Yeah.
warm up stuff. So, anyways, he basically takes the phaser from her like it's nothing, as Worf should do. And
then
I
offers
think
her
it's
tea.
funny. Yeah, so that was funny because he we get the introduction of Worf finally. Like he lists all of his accomplishments. He's like, you know, son of Mog, you know, he does the whole like house, you know, he does the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And then he says, would you like some chamomile tea? And do you take sugar?
Yeah, it's great.
And you're like, wait a second. It looks like our Worf, but what the heck's going on?
Because the whole time you're all getting all hyped up, you're like, yeah, that's Worf. And he's like, would you like some chamomile tea?
Yeah. And you're like,
really?
wait a second.
That's great. Yeah, so by the way, big upvotes here. Worf, fantastic. I have zero complaints.
Love seeing him. Upvote for me too, please.
Awesome. So badassery. Like everything he did was great. He was just really awesome. He looks great. His acting is great. All the lines that and we're gonna get into, he's such a badass. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Love Worf this season.
Yeah, he's great. I'm trying to create like some art with him, and Klingons are difficult to draw, dude, because they don't follow any of the standards.
Yeah. So now that Worf, before we go to this part, he's basically trying to get rid of her actually.
Mm-hmm.
And she won't let him. She's like, no, I'm going with you. So he tells her this like huge plan that gets her all motivated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And about them going and kicking butt and figuring out who all this is. So it was a cool scene to like get him pumped, and you can see like, you know, there's going to definitely be some sort of a, you know, mentor relationship happening here.
Right.
What was that?
All right.
Did something break?
You know, so yeah, there is a mentorship, and you know what? This is what Raffi needs.
Oh yeah, no, we all needed it, not just Raffi.
No, but let me be clear. I'm not talking about just her character, like the character. I'm talking about the character in the show. Like what the character needs is someone who she respects, that we respect, that is going to tell her what the audience has been saying for the last 2 seasons.
Right, and she says something here that I think is important. Basically, I've taken stuff from bigger legends than you, or something like that, right? And I think she's, you know, right now she's like, oh, you're the great Worf, but yet, you know, she's not quite convinced. I think it's gonna happen as we go along here.
Yeah. But when she does respect, when she falls into that respect, I believe that's gonna be what redeems her character. Look at that handsome. Oh God, such a good one. I love
a Klingon daddy.
He's a Klingon daddy. He's a cat. All right. So they gotta go find this guy, Titus Ricca. Titus Ricca, I guess, is in connection with the stolen stuff from Daystrom.
Well, he knows who stole it. Worf has found out.
Right. when they torture him, she's like, "I'm gonna rip your fingernails off." He goes, "Listen, no one's gonna rip your fingernails off."
Wait, we haven't got there yet.
I know. Sorry. It was really funny though.
Yeah.
All right. No, we're back on the Titan.
It begins.
And it begins. Yeah. So this is important. Like they're arguing over strategy.
Mm-hmm.
What does Picard want to do? Picard wants to sneak up behind. You know,
he wants to fight.
He wants to gank Vadic, and
gank. A prison term, seldomly used. Gank.
It's a video game term, dude. Jesus.
No, it's a prison term.
I don't know what you're talking about. In video games, ganking means like to sneak up and knife.
Yeah, it came from prison. Like you make a shiv and then you gank them.
Sorry, bro. I haven't been to prison. Okay, I played video games. I'm a nerd.
Well, they got it from prison.
And Riker's like, no, we need to get out of here. That chick is
run.
That chick is crazy.
She's gonna kill us all.
Hey, Jean-Luc, have you seen this chick? She's eating her cigarettes while she's taunting us with a ship bigger than ours. They're in every way they're outmanned, they're outgunned, and the person that's chasing them is clearly nuts.
Yeah,
Look,
not in her right mind.
I love Picard and his 100 years of wisdom here, but he is totally wrong.
Well, I'm actually on Picard's side here.
How is that? How can they possibly handle this person?
Star Trek is known about finding a way to take them out. It's about, even when the odds are totally against you, you devise a plan to trick them, to fool them. That's what Kirk does. That's what Picard does. But is that what Riker does? Because really, this is the first time we're seeing him in true command of a ship.
And that's why I'm digging Riker, because he's like, look, we got to get out of here. We got to regroup. We got to rethink our strategy. I don't know. I like the conservative approach. It makes sense. Like you are safeguarding the lives of hundreds and hundreds of people on that ship.
But you got to ask this question, and hopefully everybody's asking this question, is I wonder why he would do this, because this isn't the Riker that this is not how we would expect Riker to command a ship. So,
but Riker now has kids and a wife.
Okay, I wasn't going to go there, but okay.
It is though. It's not the same Riker.
Well, Riker's had kids for a long time now. So, and he was the captain of the Titan during that whole time. So I'm just saying, like, you're right. That does play into what's happening here, as you suggest, but it's not obvious yet. But their lives are what's determining their philosophy right now and how they should deal with the situation.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, either way, it's going to be fun fireworks. All right, so Jack is down in the sick bay. He's going to go. He's trying to help out. And Captain Shaw, he's not doing good. He got internal bleeding, multiple lacerations and broken bones and fractured femurs and all that stuff, right?
Now Beverly gets her comeuppance right here, because you see who's taking care of him, and she don't know. Hey, the monitors aren't showing that he's got internal bleeding. Well, he does, and it's great because now we see that obviously this person was wrong.
Yeah, putting all your trust into computers and having less knowledge than the 100-year-old person who's been a doctor for longer than you've been alive. I'm just saying, maybe you should consider that.
Good call. I think she learned her lesson here.
Yeah, but did the Trill learn his lesson? That's the question.
The symbiote, yeah.
Or symbiote.
Yeah.
All right. I'm always confused by that race. I'm not going to lie.
It's a weird phrase.
I keep thinking about Stargate every time I see them. I'm like, oh, no, symbiote, bad symbiote.
With the gold. Oh, goodness.
The ghoul. I went waiting for the Trill's eyes to start glowing. All right. So Jack goes to help Shaw, and Shaw says something. How is she finding us?
Right.
Hey, that's a great question.
It is. Yeah. And you know what? Nobody else has thought about it. So that just shows you that Shaw is like, he's a good captain. He's got, he's good at what he does. He's the one who figured it out.
Yeah. Now Jack, hearing what he says, looks around, sees blood on the floor, and goes, and then takes off to go to the bridge.
Yeah, I've got enough vote for Shaw on that. I love seeing my captains.
Yeah, I'm gonna upvote it too. I love Shaw so much. Now back on the bridge, they're arguing once again about stuff.
Oh well, this is the announcement. I believe this is the announcement of the gravity well.
Oh yeah, if they go too far into the nebula, they'll get stuck in the gravity well and they won't be able to get out.
And they also learned that this is not a normal nebula. It's something Starfleet's never run into before, and they can't go all the way through it.
Yeah. It's like it has organic an organic aspect to the nebula, which is wild.
So it must be like a living entity, I'm guessing.
That's super cool. Dude, for a minute there I was like, oh, maybe it's like the crystalline entity or something like that, They'd
all be dead by now.
Well, maybe it's a benevolent version,
Yeah.
I mean, you're right, but like I'm still pissed that we didn't get a freaking conclusion to the crystalline entity things, or the space whales, or like there's so many like really cool concepts that these shows touch on and never go back to.
Well, we got things in the future of Star Trek that we can revisit and learn more about properly and not ruin like they did with Gary 7 in season 2.
Instead of doing that, though, I say we invent a new species, have them throw a tantrum, and then they could burn all the dilithium in the universe.
No, we don't want more Discovery stuff. Thank you. Thank you.
Instead of the rich history of untapped, fascinating ideas and concepts already existing.
So I'm actually have a downvote here. Yeah. So this scene was pointless, and I know that I said that nothing that they made is pointless. They made this. I do believe this is a boo-boo. So Jack goes to the bridge because he wants to go and say what he's thought or whatever he's figured out, and the security guy goes, "We're under red alert. Go away," and he just turns around and leaves. And so I'm like, did we need to see this?
Well, yes. I would argue we did.
Okay, tell me why.
Because this is a military vessel. There's a hierarchy. There are rules.
Sure.
Right? We need to see those rules in action. And if you want him to approach 7, utilize the rules that should already exist. Mm-hmm. The random guy that came on the ship should not just have automatic access to the bridge.
Yeah, no, you're right. So, I mean, I love that this rule exists, but actually playing it forward where he approaches the bridge and gets turned away, nothing really happens here. It would have been easier if he would have run up to a corridor and there was something he could tell quickly that he shouldn't be there, some way of showing that. Then he diverts to 7.
But I think
this
was
goes
showing
up in the conversation with security guy. It just feels like it was maybe a little bit too.
See, I think this was showing though. He was showing his ability to hold back. It was showing his ability to control himself. Because later on, literally right after this, he punches a security guard in the face that denies him access a second time.
That's fair. I guess if you add it into that moment. But I will say, this was a moment where I'm like, well, it doesn't bother me that it was there, but I felt like it was unnecessary to the moving the story forward. I don't feel like Jack's an uncontrollable character. So when he does hit that security guard, it's really because, well, we'll get to it, I guess, in a second.
Plus, he's validated by 7. So we want him to go talk to 7. He has no connection to 7. Remember, we do, but he doesn't.
No, you're right. No, I get that. He needed a reason to go from the bridge to her, which makes sense. I guess looking at it, it took a long time to create that situation where he had to go to 7.
Yeah. So for me though, like Yorkshire, bridge is off limits to civvies right away. So we want to get him to 7 so that these characters interact, utilize the rules that already exist. That's why, and it shows he's reserved, and then it shows when it's warranted, right? He can.
I don't need that in this character. I don't think he's an out of control character, so I don't need to see that. Do you think he's an out of control character?
I think that he's young and impetuous, and he controlled himself. So here's the deal. When he wanted to get on the bridge to explain what was going on, he didn't have to react violently because he knew of another way. Go find 7, right? She's in her quarters. But then when the security guard tries to stop 7 and him from getting out, the only way forward right then is violence.
No, I understand. I don't see the character as being like a violent. They need to show us that he can control his temper.
No, it's more I think you're showing that he's calculating. Not like he's not that he's not violent. But he's more like he's calculating. He's choosing his actions. He's calculated.
All right. I would just argue that this scene took longer than I feel like it should to really be pretty pointless. So, that's my take on it. So,
well,
I mean, it doesn't take me out of the show at all. It just, listen, this show is so good. I got so many upvotes. There's very few moments. This is like a very minor criticism. Yeah. It's not like a big,
for me though, I actually actively liked it because I thought it would show strategy and it was a clever way of getting him to 7.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I'm having a heart attack because my freaking arm is numb right now. Is the
left
arm?
I wouldn't drink any more of that stuff.
Is it the left arm or the right arm that you should be worried about?
It's the left arm.
Oh, thank God. This is my right arm. Oh, we're good.
You're okay.
We're good.
Oh, keep drinking more.
If half my face goes numb like that, just warn me in the chat, okay?
Yeah, that's your normal look.
I look like a half changeling. All right. Yeah, the Shrike is still coming after him. They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So I believe they've already turned around. So when the thing happened earlier, he turned around and said, head back and get us out of this nebula. Right.
Mhm.
And so they were leaving, but of course the Shrike gets up on him.
Right. Get us out of this nebula. I'm in charge. Right. And oh yeah, this is the moment.
Okay, so we learn what the weapon is.
Mhm.
There it is. In the main weapon space is the portal weapon that we saw destroy the Starfleet recruitment center on that planet. And this is really cool. What happens here?
Yeah, I wonder why it's called a portal weapon.
It literally goes in one portal and to the place where you want it to go next.
Yeah, but like, and listen, not a criticism. I love this weapon. I love this concept. I love that it was added to Star Trek. But it is a video game. It's a very popular
originally video game. Yes, but there's like not just the portal game, but there was versions of this from way before that even.
But even the colors are the same. Like the portal they're going into is one color. The portal they're going out of is they're following the same color coordination as the game, which makes sense. I'm not criticizing it. It's super cool, but I get a lot of portal vibes from this.
It is. I mean, it literally is called a portal weapon. So yeah. So upvote for me.
But I'm surprised that no one, like when I saw like the Easter egg videos, no one even talked about it.
It's because it's not just from that one game. Like it's used in everything. Like you know how many times the idea of a portal opening in one spot and taking you to another spot. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Like they just took advantage of it and made a game about it, but they don't own the idea.
I guess Mario Brothers did it first, right? With the pipes.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it. But what's cool about it, and the reason why I want to upvote this, is because if you stop right there, you see, right? And if you can give me the upvote, they're going through the portal, but coming out from another direction, which is right in the loving embrace of the Shrike.
Right. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you literally see the butt end of the ship in the ingoing portal and the head coming out the other end, and the Shrike's is sitting there. Hey, boss.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And so they do it, and they try to run again and just keep doing it over and over. And we learn they can't get away from the Shrike because of this weapon. I
wonder if this weapon is only effective against these larger ships. Like it wouldn't be effective against like a more maneuverable ship. Per se.
I mean, I guess if you shot it in front of him.
Yeah, but the weapon seems like it was a little slow paced. But I understand you can't maneuver the size of that starship fast enough to get out of the way. But what if it was like the Delta Flyer? You know, they're not going to fall into that trap.
Maybe they can make the portal open smaller.
And then if it was smaller, then it'd be faster. Then they probably couldn't be avoided. Yeah, that makes sense.
Probably.
All right.
It's only useful in the sense where it doesn't really deal damage. It just causes confusion, and you really got to think your tactics way in advance when you're dealing with portal stuff.
Chaos. Usually you can't. You're like they're like a bug in a spider web. You know. Super cool graphics. By the way, the graphics are absolutely like. And knowing what we know about how broke everyone is, I'm blown away at how well. This is. We
need to give a special upvote to Dave Blass, Michael Okuda, the whole effects team. They did so much here. You know, the one thing that there's so much love put into the creation of the graphics for this show this season. I mean, they brought back guys from TOS era to do stuff. It's just beautifully done, really well done.
Yeah, like literally everything is beautiful. Like if you guys heard me a couple weeks ago, like absolutely ripping the arc to pieces, it deserved it. For me right now, the opposite of that is this, because these look like practical models, dude. They look like someone took the time to create these environments and then shoot them properly. It's beautiful.
It's great.
All right. All right. Now we're back on Metalis Prime. Metalis is where Worf and Raffi are. Guess what? They're going to go hunt down this guy that might know who took the Daystrom weapon, right?
Yes.
Some of their banter back and forth is actually pretty clever. So
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It shows that maybe she's not giving Worf all the credit he deserves, and he puts her in a place really quickly, but like in a kind way. It's really good. I love how he's just sitting there and being inconspicuous. Like he's like that's like his like casual outfit.
Yeah, there's nothing inconspicuous about that.
No, he looks so dangerous, bro.
There's an angry old Klingon in the corner. Everybody see that? Yeah.
With a giant sword. It's really hard to miss.
The Kurleth.
Like she's trying to blend in, and he's just sitting there. This is my blend in clothes.
This is what I look like when I blend in.
Of course, Metalis Prime is like constant, nonstop party. All right,
They shot that. I don't, did we mention it already? I'm not sure. They shot it in Santa Clarita. It was. I'm gonna tell you, they just didn't have a lot of money for this stuff. They shot it in Santa Clarita at this kind of outdoor Middle Eastern like market area.
Really?
And they basically they dressed it up, shot it at night, lit it up, and then that's why you get this kind of party look. I mean, I tell you, some people were complaining, well, why are they always on Metalis Prime for everything? Blah blah blah. Because they don't have a lot of money to go shoot on location and do different things. That's why. So they did a lot with a little. I got to tell you.
Yeah. Their budget was not. Discovery has a much higher budget.
Yeah,
which is
Picard season 1 had a much higher budget.
Yeah.
Picard season 1 had $10 million an episode budget. Think about that for a second.
Yeah, $10 million an episode. Yeah. What a travesty. And at least 4 of the episodes of Picard season 1 were totally unrequired to tell the story.
Dude, could you imagine if this season had 10 times the amount of money per episode? Well, can you imagine who would have come back, what we would have had?
What did they spend $10 million an episode on in season 1? What the F did they spend that money on?
They wasted a lot of it. They reshot a lot of stuff.
Oh, God, it's so stupid.
A lot of waste.
All right. Back on the Titan.
Oh, yeah. He finds her.
And he's like, listen, remember your old Fenris Ranger days? Remember that trick?
Blood in the water.
Blood in the water. Yes. So you want to explain that?
I mean, I didn't really understand it, but I mean, I kind of got it. I guess they had something they call blood in the water where it gave them the ability to like understand how to track somebody. I didn't quite grab it.
So they're tagging a ship with the shielding that protects the warp coils.
Yeah.
They
that part, yeah.
And that's what allows them to track them because it's such a radioactive material.
Right. I thought you were going to explain blood in the water, but I guess it would be like if you shot a game animal and they were bleeding and you were following their trail.
Right. Well, but I think that's the Fenris Rangers trick I think they're using the same trick that the Fenris Rangers.
Okay, so that's how she came up with this. They're tracking the Verterium.
Right, because that's the only mineral, whatever, that's radioactive enough for them to be able to track the nebula.
Okay, so that's how Seven knew about it. I mean, it made sense, and I thought it was really good Star Trek. I love that they that we have a new word for something that sounded very Star. So upvote that for me because I definitely the more Star Trek the better. Theories about how things work, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the guard's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, you cannot come through here." And Jack, all drunk and violent, just punched him in the face. No, I'm kidding.
Drunk and violent.
No, I'm kidding. No, but like I honestly don't see another way out here. I think he's logical. I think he's strategic, and the fastest way to get there and possibly save lives is just to knock this guy out. And that's what he does.
Well, and I love that Seven didn't do it because she doesn't want to hurt her own crew member.
Right.
So that they thought about this appropriately. If Seven like jacks up, it never went over well when one of the officers had to disable a crew member. It happened on previous episodes before.
Like when Michael Burnham just beat the crap out of Tilly.
she never did that, but sometimes Kirk would get locked up and he'd have to.
I really hoping she would.
It's happened in the past, and it never feels good. So it was nice that Jack did it, and
Yeah. I mean, she's got to work with him afterwards, right? So.
Oh, and how about this crazy idea? Jack's saving Seven. Seven's not saving Jack. And that would have been fine if Seven saved Jack.
Well, completely fine.
It's kind of nice.
It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice that the Supergirl doesn't have to always be there.
Right.
Got a little equal opportunity heroics here.
And she kind of gave him a look like, oh, all right, nice.
Okay, cool.
He got the 7 of 9 approval.
I'm definitely sleeping with this guy later on, for sure.
Oh, Jesus. He's like half her age. I don't know.
And? Jeez.
Listen, that's all your business.
Hashtag green grannies, baby. Hashtag green grannies all day long. Give me an older Orion lady all day long.
People who have not watched the show before are very confused right now. You should stop.
There's an ongoing joke if you've just got here.
I better explain myself.
I'm into older ladies, and I'm really into green chicks. So hashtag green grannies.
There you go.
I do legitimately like older women.
Okay, moving on.
I'm just saying.
No, really, I'm serious. I really like them.
I really do.
Keep going, please.
No, so I like that they put the mask on too. I don't remember ever seeing a mask in Star Trek. Do you?
I mean, I don't know.
I can't think of a single time where they put a gas mask on. Not a single time.
I just love that they don't have to like put a thing over their face and it just like sticks to their. I mean, that's what a futuristic thing should be able to do.
Dude, Spock needed one of those things in Star Trek too. All I'm saying.
Yeah, well.
All right. You will forever be my friend. Remember?
He needed more than a mask, dude. He was like irradiated.
Yeah, it was like irradiated.
Like,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was like, you need a whole bodysuit to protect him.
Right.
It would have melted the suit. I'm sorry, never mind.
So they're trying to find the mineral. What is it called? Deuterium? Deuterium, right?
It's no, it's verterium.
Oh, jeez. Well,
I had to listen to it about 15 times to get it right.
Another memory alpha entry, I'm sure. Verterium. Yeah, they're trying to track it down. And that's important because that's how they're being tracked by the Shrike. Because of the verterium.
Yes. And I believe so Jack was the one saying they must have a leak. And I believe that's where they said, well, they kind of thought they might have a saboteur, but this confirms it.
We have a saboteur.
We have a saboteur.
Just so you guys know, I have a speech impediment, so don't get mad at me when I mispronounce super long made up words.
Okay.
Because I'm just sensing the comments right now.
Because that would just be wrong,
it's
right?
It's verterium, dummy. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry, dude.
Are you trying to like shame people who make fun of you because you have a speech impediment?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually trying to. I'm trying to like get ahead of the comments.
Yeah, don't feel bad. You can make fun of him anyways. Yeah,
I guess you can.
We don't care.
No one cares, man. All right. Now, creepy guy, whatever his name is
he played creepy guy very well, by the way.
He did.
Yeah, very convincing as creepy guy. Oh yeah, look at him. Oh yeah, creepy.
I'm putting them on the thumbnail, dude.
Creepy Twitter guy.
All right. Poor actors, like, what is your problem, man?
Who was in Fast and the Furious 1, and I had no idea. Okay.
So he comes in and with near superhuman strength, just beats the crap out of Jack.
You knew something was wrong as soon as he like lifts him into the air and throws him like 5 feet.
Yeah, like he had no issue with just dispatching of Jack immediately.
Right.
And Jack's messed up. Like he got hurt. Like,
dude, he like Spock punched him in the stomach or something. It was not good.
Yeah. Back on Metalis, I guess. They captured their guy, right?
Wait, whoa. Did we pass the scene where he punches him in the face, right?
Apparently we did. When he body slams him into the table?
No. When we missed that part, but I'm talking about when
that's
Jack punches this guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Ready? I'm gonna show it. Ready?
Yep.
Oh,
there it is. Okay.
Changeling time.
But here's what's funny. Like, you may not think the first thing you think is changeling. Like, you might see that and go, I'm not sure what's happening.
Maybe they should have made his face look like Odo temporarily or something.
Well, I mean, no, I like the fact that they don't give it away in this shot necessarily.
Right.
You don't immediately scream changeling necessarily. I mean, that's weird. Your face should not change. And the first thing you might think is changeling, but it isn't until the next scene where it gets confirmed for us.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. I do feel like a lack of the Odo looking people.
Well, they're not supposed to yet. They look like humans right now.
I know, but we never see any of them looking like Odo, right? That's sort of
I'm
a
not
bummer.
sure what you want me to say.
Like these two changelings, when they change, they either go from their human form to their liquid form.
Right.
Odo can change into something, but he had to change back into himself at some point.
Well, but Odo's back into himself was basically liquid form. Like the form he chose was what we saw of Odo. And I know.
Well, yeah. If he chose that form and he didn't know his people in DS9 and they all had the same form?
That's true. Yeah, good point.
So
but
I'm assuming that's what like when they're solid, when they choose to be solid, that must be what they look like.
That's what DS9 made us believe. But what I'm saying is anyways, I think we should just move on because you're right. All we see is human and moving of flesh in this episode. That's the best I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. You're right. I mean, I can only comment on this one episode. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right. Because, we only see humans. And, I mean, we don't see the founders in this episode. Right?
Right. Yeah.
You see changelings pretending to be humans.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. This guy's... They think that he is coming down off of a drug.
Yes, they think he's on drugs.
Right. So she thinks he has like the bends. What's it called when you have like
basically
the shakes?
He's going through withdrawals.
Yeah, he's like, yo man, you got any Panera meth juice, bro?
right.
And she threatens to like cut his fingers off or something.
Right. Oh, we did miss a conversation that we should probably mention.
Which one?
Picard, before when we skip through that, Picard wants to use the fact that they know what's going on the show. Oh, no, that's not yet. Go ahead.
No, that hasn't happened yet, yeah.
You're right.
And Worf comes in as the good cop. He's like, what does he call her? It's not Raffi. He calls her like Raphaelia or something like that.
Raphaelia, yeah.
Raphaelia. Like somehow... Every time Worf interacts with Raffi, he makes the character better.
Because he turns her into a child.
Even her name is better.
Raphaela. Well, he's taking her and turning her into a child. He's taking away her power, right, and supplanting it and turning her into a little kid. So every time he addresses her, he's basically shaking her down. And by changing her name, I mean, think about it. If your name is like John,
right,
and all of a sudden somebody's like, "Come over here, Johnny." It's like saying I'm demoting you from being an adult to now until you learn and behave properly, you are now a child.
Excuse me, Shawnee. Listen.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's some mind games that I'm gonna have to experiment with. I never considered that. Just the act of changing one's name without their consent. Is like such an alpha move. Like
it really is. Yeah. Look how he touched.
You are now Shawnee.
Right. That doesn't sound like a child's name though. You'd have to call him. I don't really have a child's name.
Right.
My name is like adult and child.
Yeah. Your name is you were born 70.
Right.
My name is a child's name. So it's funny. You're like the epitome of a 50-year-old cowboy with nothing but grit. And I'm like the epitome of like a spoiled child with a lollipop.
well, here's what you do for you. Okay, your name's Brian, right?
Right.
And be like Brian. Be like this. Listen, Bry.
Oh,
okay.
That.
That's the one where because that like de-ages you.
That
right?
gives me the chilly willies. I don't like that at all. Don't call me Bry. Oh, I hate
that's
that.
how Raphaela is feeling right now because Worf is about to dress her down, and I love this. He's interrogating the bad guy while using by basically demeaning her.
Right.
Well,
I think he's trying to teach her. I don't think he's trying to demean her. I think he's trying to teach her a lesson during the interrogation.
The demeaning is part of the lesson.
Right, but it is part of the lesson.
Right.
He's like, Raffi,
you were once like me.
I'm sorry. We aren't going to cut your fingernails off.
She's like, get off of me. I'm trying to get him to talk.
Yeah, and this is the part where he's like, I used to be like her, violent,
and awful,
horrible,
impetuous,
and awful, very stupid,
dumb.
I used to be very dumb. People didn't like me. She's like, yo, what the?
Okay, can we get back to what we're doing here?
Like, what's your problem? I used to be very ugly. I didn't know how to handle my skincare regimen. I also used to smell. She's like, what the F for?
They're trying to find out who broke into Daystrom.
This actor looks familiar, dude. I think he does a pretty good job here.
Yeah, his acting was good.
Yeah. I remember when we saw this in the trailer, I'm like, who is this guy? Like,
oh yeah, I remember.
Because it seems like he's important because Worf is like talking to him, but really he's just a conduit for what he wants to tell Raffi or Raffilia, whatever. Is genius.
Well, he's got an important kind of looking face too. He
does.
looks like he should be. Looks like he should be doing something. I think that's how you end up being an actor. I think.
Yeah, I think he's an actual actor. What if he's like a buddy of Terry's? He's like a bunch of stuff.
Probably. I should have looked it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. All right. Yeah, so he just dresses her down, and she's like, and then she still says like, "All right, we're still gonna cut your fingernails off." It's great. All right, we're back on the Titan as they're interrogating whatever his name is. Who cares? Tika. Why? Wally.
The human guy. Yeah.
Human guy. Let's call him Bry.
Who knows something about Star? Yeah. Call him what?
Let's call him Bry.
Bry. So yeah, they're interrogating Bry. I like that.
Back on Titan, Jack is having visions. Now this is like, we're gonna be clear. Like, this isn't random. This is important, right? Why else would we?
Everything they do, other than going to the door at the bridge, is important.
F you. I thought that was important. So he looks up. He's seeing like 7. There's like red vines or something like that or whatever. And he's having like a weird vision because he got knocked in the head too hard or something, right?
And you hear Vadic's voice, I believe.
Right. You hear Vadic calling. And there's like this red door. What is this red door about, Shane?
Yeah, so I don't know, but gosh, I got to tell you, this to me is very 12 Monkeys-ish.
Oh yeah, this is super 12
right?
Monkeys. Yeah,
very 12 Monkeys-ish. So this is what Terry knows how it does. He creates some intrigue through some visualization, and he likes the color red. So I don't know. We don't know what's going on yet, but we know this is the first sign that something's not right. Something's weird.
God, Jerry Ryan is so beautiful. It's crazy. Like, I'm like,
so random.
She's
beautiful.
So pretty. It's crazy, bro. I want to see that red door, and let me just play it for a second.
If we get to interview her, please don't tell her she's beautiful.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be there. I will not represent us in the best light.
Her manager's going to be like, "You guys leave now."
I'm just being honest, and I don't want to get canceled for meeting a celebrity. But like, I've had a crush on Jerry Ryan since I was like.
So Jerry, how do you feel about green paint?
Effing 12, like for real, like since I was like 12, dude. That's been like a long time. So. Like, so we might actually get to interview Jerry Ryan. We're talking to our manager right now, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm worried about it.
I'll protect her from you.
Here's the deal: I don't fangirl or fanboy about anything. Like, I really don't care. I'm like, my superpower and my weakness is I'm apathetic. Like, I just really don't care. Like we're gonna get along because I don't care. Like, I don't care as long as you're not affecting me in any way. I have no interest in whatever, right?
I think you're the first person I've ever heard that said their superpower is apathy.
Yeah, no, but well, it's a super weakness and a superpower. Like, if I cared more about most of this crap, then maybe I'd be a better podcaster. Maybe more people would watch our show. You know what I mean? But because I just don't really care about actors, like Todd Stashwick is a super nice guy, but like, I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to meet Todd Stashwick. I'm like, yeah, Todd Stashwick is cool. He's a good actor. I wasn't like fanboying about it. I was like, whatever.
Well, no, you need somebody who you grew up with as a kid to fanboy.
I mean, really, saying, honestly, though, like I the only person I've ever there's only a handful of people, and Jerry Ryan's on that list.
Well, you were a kid when you liked her, so it makes sense. And listen, if I ever met William Shatner in person, which I have not done, I'd be a little fanboyish about it.
Wait, we did meet him.
We saw him. We didn't talk to him.
We didn't talk to him though. You're right.
Yeah.
At STLV though, right?
Yeah.
I also got to shake Christopher Pike's hand. No, whatever. What's his name?
No, Ethan Peck.
No. I didn't get to shake Ethan Peck's hand.
Oh, that's right. No, he decided he didn't want to talk.
What's Pike's name again? Damn, he has a weird name. He's like a super daddy. He has a daddy name. What's the actor's name that plays Christopher Pike? Anson Mount.
Anson Mount.
So I got to shake
like
Anson
from Happy Days.
I got to shake his hand. He's super nice, like really nice, friendly, and just charming. It's crazy, bro. I get it. I get the appeal. I was really interested in meeting Ethan Peck, and he was an absolute dick. I couldn't even get 5 feet from the dude. So, I don't know. I'm just over actors, man.
Yeah, I get it. They're just people. But, at the same time, it's okay to be a little fanboyish sometimes.
Yeah. I would like to meet Patrick Stewart, too. I don't think that would ever happen, but.
Well, we saw him.
We did see him, but we couldn't get close enough to actually meet him, man. That was a bummer. All right, so Jack is hurt.
This is the moment, guys.
Explain this. You're gonna do it better because I don't want to mess it up.
No. So this is the moment. Picard's on the bridge arguing with Riker still, and he gets the call that Jack is injured, hurt badly, and we need you to come to sickbay right away.
17 minutes.
17 seconds. So Picard now gets his 17 seconds, just like Riker did when Thaddeus was born and had trouble. And so in this moment, we see Picard becoming a parent, basically.
Right.
And that was the whole point of what happened in this episode earlier. You can see the torment on his face. This guy doesn't get emotional about stuff, guys. We've known him for a long, long time, and there's not a ton of things that bother him. But we're having a moment here where he's internalizing, and he does it well because he doesn't start sobbing. See, Picard seasons 1 and 2, you probably would have been super emotional.
Right.
But in this season, he's trying to hold it together, and you can see that on his face.
He would have been writing in his diary.
Right. Yeah. And now he's internalizing it just as the Picard we know would do. But you can see just through his acting, no words, that he's struggling with the fear of what could be for his son. And of course he gets down there and Beverly's trying to shock him back to life. So he was right to be worried.
Oh, and this scene was actually great. Like the way she was like, it was great. Good scene. Gaze McFadden, man. Best acting I've seen from her in a long time.
She blew it away, man. She did a good job.
Yeah.
She really did a good job to show.
Her facial movements, like her emotion, like even like her micro expressions, just really on point, dude. I'm like really impressed. Oh man, so good. All right, I'm giving it an upvote. This scene was awesome. And,
I like,
and it's a callback to that scene we already saw, which is why we.
Me too. Yeah, give it to me too, because I love the artistic value of this episode. I love that they set it up with Riker's story and that Picard shares the same thing. And let me tell you guys something. If you notice, this whole relationship with Picard and Riker is central to this season. So the fact that, Riker had something happen to him, Picard had something to happen to him, and now they're having this struggle on how to handle the situation. It all plays into a bigger story. So it's really well done. Very nicely done.
Yep. And he pulls through, and you can see the relief on Picard's face.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, and this is, so we got to see, we don't really get to see any interaction between the two yet. that will come in future episodes. But the question is, did he become a parent, or I think we were joking, is he going to continue to be a deadbeat dad? So,
right, yeah, this is great. This is when he realizes that he cares for the kid, even though he just met him.
Yeah,
or nah, he's an adult, whatever, you know what I mean. All right, back on Metalis, Raffi is still taking the fingernails off this guy. Right. Really upset about it. There's a moment where Worf's like, nothing bad's going to happen to you. It's like, no, something bad's going to happen to you. It's great. So it was more than, they start to realize there's something more going on here than just the shakes, right?
Right.
And I love this. Raffi didn't put it together.
Yeah, of course not.
Of course not. But in previous episodes, it would have been Raffi that put the pieces together. It wouldn't have been Worf.
You are right. If you guys are wondering what's different about this season of Star Trek, the right characters are doing the right things at the right times. It's not forced. It doesn't feel fake because the wrong person is doing it because, wow, we got to have, we got to, do this socially aware thing. And, it's the right characters are in charge. That's it.
And of course, Worf knows what a changeling looks like. He spent a lot of time with Odo.
You bet he knows.
He knows.
the whole DS9 series.
Right. So that was really a smart play. I love that. Oh man, what a Klingon daddy he is, man.
And I love how Worf asks him, how long have you been separated from the Great Link? So of course we learned in Deep Space Nine that the Great Link was an intermingling of many changelings in their natural form. And because that's their natural existence. And the last we saw of changelings before this show is Odo, right? A fan favorite and a changeling from Deep Space Nine had cured the Great Link of a disease, right? That's the last we know of what happened. And anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I call the Great Link the goo orgy.
That's fair. Yeah. That's actually sounds realistic.
Yeah. Goo orgy.
Yeah.
All right. Back on the Titan. All right. So things are going off the rails a little bit for Picard and Riker.
So did they take care of this guy? No. Okay.
Yeah, they're about to. I don't know why I skipped back there. Let's just go. Let's just handle this part. This is when he starts to get all goopy. Look up, goopy.
Oh. Yeah. And so that moment you're like, oh dang. Now we know.
So how do you feel about the goop, man?
The what?
The goop. Their liquid form. How do you feel about it?
Like as far as the graphics?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So I feel like this is definitely what the intention was when they made changelings, but you obviously couldn't do these kind of graphics.
Right. The graphics back in the 90s were cheap. I mean, it was like this blob kind of moving around. This is actual. It was like material.
Liquid metal or something. This is like material. Yeah. This is like they're turning from a solid into a liquid. Like so, their molecules are separating. This I feel like this is what it would look like. But
yeah, I do too. No, it made sense to me. It was a little stringy. It wasn't just one clump. It was like, yeah. No, I thought they did a great job with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, upvote it. I'll upvote that art.
Go I'm upvoting it too. Upvote it. Yeah, the thing about the old ones is like, I loved Odo, but if we're seeing changelings in this day and age, you expect them. They have to look different. They're not going to look like the T-800 or whatever from Terminator.
Oh, the Terminator 2. I mean, that would be even done differently. I would argue.
Yeah,
more realistic looking.
And then I think we saw a version of that, and it was like nanoparticles or whatever. That was dumb.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like they should have done something differently, but even they tried to update that, right? Because it doesn't make sense to be,
Well, if you got better, if you have the ability to create better graphics, you do. That's it.
Right. And they figured out that the changeling planted a bomb.
So the changeling guy connected a bomb to looks like somewhere in engineering, right?
Right. And he's the ship was about to go to warp, but oh no more warp for you guys. No more anything.
Mm-hmm.
Back at La Serena, This is the moment where he tells Raffi, "You and me are going to be partners."
Right.
But he says it much cooler because he's Worf. But yeah, that was cool. That was like, I don't know, this character needed it. Like Raffi without Worf doesn't work for me. With Worf, she starts to become this character that I actually want to see. I want to see her interact with Worf. Maybe the character just needed a partner like this the whole time. Like they needed a real partner.
Well, I mean, she needs to get to an emotionally better place, so she needs help. I mean, he's helping her. You know, she's quick to anger, quick to frustrate. She doesn't have a lot of the characteristics you like in a human being. That's a little more, you know, that's a little more comfortable with themselves.
Right.
And that's partially why we don't like her, I think.
Right. All right. All right, and the thing explodes. Oh no.
Now it's important to note that I think now in this moment, I wanted to explain it before, but Picard had been telling Riker, we need to fight. Right. So we need to fight. So has that happened yet where the Shrike showed up? Yeah. Because this disables him, right?
Right, it disables him. Yeah.
No, it happens at the end. Never mind. He keeps telling him he wants to fight, and Riker's like, no, we're not going to. And they go back into the nebula. So back in the nebula, the explosion happens, and now.
Yeah, there's the explosion. Yep. And I think they try to fight, right?
They not yet. At the end, they do. Unless we're at the end. Are we at the end?
Yeah, we're at the end. We're at the end.
Okay, so does he actually say it here?
Yeah, this is when he says, you've killed us all. Right.
Yeah, so basically, Picard tells him we have to fight. It's either fight or die. And Riker gives in. He doesn't want to, but he gives in. And so the Titan fires everything it's got, right? And the Shrike just shoots the portal weapon in front of those bullets, or in front of the weapons fire, and then puts it to the back end of the Titan, and that's what ends up
the photon torpedoes, and they go through the portal, and they hit themselves.
I don't know if they were photon torpedoes, but they were something. Yeah,
I mean, they were like, so it couldn't be a phaser because phaser is energy. It had to be some kind of something physical, right?
That's true. Yeah. So they came back, and so of course Riker's angry because he didn't want to fight, and he blames Picard and says, "Get off the bridge. You've killed us all."
Right.
And that's how the episode ends. A couple of things that we should have mentioned here earlier was there was music in the beginning that was operatic, which is very reminiscent to the movie Crimson Tide. When Crimson Tide is hit by the other sub, it's sinking and going into crush depths.
Right.
And there's the hymn is being played at that time. And it sounds very similar to the operatic music we get at the beginning of the show, which I believe was foreshadowing for what they want to do. Lots of moments of Crimson Tide here. Picard and Riker arguing back and forth like Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. Not quite with the same veracity, I think, from that movie, but still, on how to handle the situation. You had what was the other one? There was one with another character. Well, I think with Seven, right? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So Gene Hackman was locked into his quarters,
right?
And so Seven was locked into her quarters, right? So it's just, there were a lot of similarities here, and I thought really nice. It's a great movie. If you've never seen Crimson Tide, you should definitely watch it. And it leaves us with an interesting cliffhanger going into episode 4 of, the ship's completely disabled. The Shrike is right there. There's a gravity well that they have to deal with, and they very well are in dire situations.
How do they get out of this? How do the Hardy Boys escape the well? Yeah. Super chat from Good Tea Nice House. So far, the writing of Picard season 3 is leaps and bounds better than anything Marvel or Star Wars has put out this year. The show's Emmy worthy. Yes, I agree.
Yes, it probably will never win it, but absolutely worthy of better than anything else put out.
Yeah, you're right. The connections that we're seeing, like these themes are building up to something really wonderful, and do not miss it. Like, don't sleep on this. Don't take a week off, because you're gonna get spoiled. It's just this series is so good. It's just too good this time.
Yeah, I agree. It's just getting better from here, guys. Lock and load.
Looks like we gave it an average number of 11. 1-1, pretty damn good score. If you double digits on the Popcast, you're doing something right.
Yeah, I loved it. And going into episode 4 next week, we have so many questions. So what are our questions that we have going into the next episode? Okay. So we learned from this episode too. We didn't mention it. We learned, and Odo is the one who told Worf this.
Yes.
That these changelings are part of a terrorist group that broke off from the Great Link because they didn't want the war to end, the Dominion War. So this ties back to DS9. If everybody was like going, well, is there going to be any DS9 stuff in here? This storyline directly ties off of DS9.
Yeah, there's no changelings in any of the series but DS9. So.
Right, but just that story, the element of the Great Link, the fact that, and it looks like the reason why Starfleet never addressed it was because if they did, then it would reignite the Dominion War, which they didn't want. Some other things we need to know. How will Picard, engage his new son after the experiences he's had in this episode? Why is Riker obsessed with saving the crew, and why does Picard want to fight? That's something that will play out. And most importantly, what was stolen from Daystrom that can be worse than the portal weapon?
Right, because the portal weapon was sleight of hand. And the portal weapon's gnarly. So what else did they steal? What weapon could they have gotten, and how much worse can it possibly be if it's worse than the portal gun, right?
Right. And just think, guys, we're 3 episodes in. Guess what we haven't seen yet? No Geordi. No whoever that Data lookalike character is supposed to be, or whoever that is, right? Mm-hmm. No Moriarty yet. We've had none of these things happen yet that were in the trailers, and we're already 3. So we're going to episode 4. So there's a lot of action-packed things still coming.
A lot, so much. Okay, well that is it for the review. So we're gonna wrap this up, and if you're watching this clip later on, please hit the subscribe button in the way in the comment section. Let us know what you think.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, man. What's next?
Well, that was great. I'm just going to take a breath or something.
Yeah. Take a look quick. Take a little breather. That was great.
That was good. We have some other interesting things to talk about here. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the Mandalorian.
Okay.
And we want to talk about that. We are going to be talking about the future of Star Trek now that during this show, we learned that Discovery Season 5 is the last. I got to tell you, that is unexpected. Yeah. We fully expected Discovery to go at least 7 seasons. And the fact that it's not says something.
Right. How is it the last, it wasn't that like their flagship show?
It is their flagship show.
Fascinating.
So that's interesting that that's the case. And it plays into some other things. Plus, we're going to talk about a little bit about the new Rings of Power movies. We know that Quantum Leap came back again this week, but we are not going to talk. We might talk about that a little bit in the member section, but we're not going to talk about it here. So,
yeah, we haven't. Yeah, there's too much. No. We'll talk about it in the member section.
We'll just talk about what we're going to do with it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so what would you like to do first? You want to talk about Mandalorian, and then we'll jump into the future of the Star Trek and how they're completely flat broke because they bought way too much crap for Discovery?
Yeah.
All right. Mandalorian first. Talking about the Mandalorian, season 3 gets off to a disappointing start, starring Pedro Pascal and Baby Groot. The Mandalorian is
Baby Groot.
I'm sorry, not Baby Groot. Sorry, Baby Yoda. My bad.
Baby Groot.
The thing is, the Mandalorian is probably the only good thing to come out of really good popular thing to come out of Star Wars since episode 7. I know you like the Andor, but a lot of people also disliked it. What I'm saying.
Well, I would go back to the original series probably. I don't know.
I mean, episode 7 was pretty good. What are you talking about?
You know what? I guess when it stands alone, all the promises of episode 7 be unfulfilled really hurts episode 7 in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm only talking about by itself because, oh God, you attach anything to episode 8 and it's automatically garbage. So I've been watching this too. I have my complaints about The Mandalorian, but overall it's a good time, or good enough time, I should say. And I'm not really a Star Wars fan anymore. So if I can watch it and enjoy it when and I've been turned off by Star Wars for a long, long time, then it's a good show. However, apparently the season 3 premiere is and no one likes it. Literally everyone hates it. Shane,
Well, I wouldn't say, I think hate's a strong word. But it's just, what is your superpower again?
Apathy.
Yeah, I think it breeds some apathy here. Like, you're going into season 3, episode 1, you're like, hey, this needs to come strong, right? And what do we get? We get an episode that starts out with this like Mandalorian. They're basically creating a new Mandalorian, I guess. This kid who's about to be. And by the way, that kid that you see was also in the Book of Boba Fett. He played the child sand people kid that Boba Fett connects with. That same kid, but he didn't have any speaking parts. Apparently, that kid is the cousin of Jimmy Kimmel that you see at the beginning of this episode.
So nepotism.
Well, what in Hollywood is not nepotism?
True that.
But but the kid, I mean, that's fine. I know that some people are like, well, the kid doesn't act very well, but he doesn't have to do a whole lot, so it didn't really bug me. But you could tell he wasn't like a trained actor or anything like that.
Yeah, Tusken Raiders. That's what they're called. Tusken Raiders.
Sand people. Yeah, Tusken Raiders. Yes.
The Sand People.
Yes, they called them the Sand People at the beginning, and then eventually they would name them Tusken Raiders. You're right. But if you're an episode, 4 gal, they were Sand People.
Who are you calling a sand person?
Stop it. So anyways, they decide to have this really great, make a new Mandalorian at a location where apparently there is a enormous, gigantic crocodile that just like lives there. And that essentially starts destroying all of the starts eating the Mandalorians. I'm like, if you're going to hold your thing, definitely don't hold it in a place where that guy lives.
Yeah. And why are there so many giant creatures that just eat people?
I mean, that's Star Wars for you.
There were in Star Wars, there was 2.
No,
there was the sand pit thing, whatever it's called. I call it like a super Chad Snorlax, and then the Rancor. Those only two big giant things that just automatically ate someone.
Well, that was on Tatooine, but you had when the Millennium Falcon landed on what they thought was an asteroid, it was actually a giant space worm or snake.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about that. Jeez.
So I mean, it's part of lore, and they did have it in. They had that giant whale in Boba Fett.
Yeah.
So
it should have been way cooler than it was, to be honest.
But this was pretty cool. Like, I will say, like, the creature was kind of cool. Like, the whole scene itself was like kind of like, okay, well, dang. But what was dumb about it was, why would they choose that location? Okay, well, maybe they didn't know it was going to be there. But then Mando flies in, shoots it with his ship. It dies immediately after all these Mandalorian couldn't kill it. Right. And then they just like pop open their top and it's like, hey, what's up, guys? And that's like the introduction to like Mando coming back to his people.
Right.
And it was kind of just, I don't know, kind of cheesy, or like, I don't know what the right word is. And here's the other problem. Like, I really like Pasquale. I like the guy who plays the Mandalorian.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal.
I've gotten to know him now in that movie with Nicolas Cage, where Nicolas Cage plays himself. And now I've seen him in Last of Us, and I'm like seeing him and stuff. I'm like, I know who this guy is. Now, when I first started watching The Mandalorian, I didn't know who he was.
Right.
So now I'm like itching to see his face. Right. And that's not good, because this dude's never supposed to take off his helmet.
Right.
So I think there's like a little bit of a weird, now that he's like famous, like there's this weird, it's hard to like get back into the Mandalorian, in that way, because we kind of know who's playing him now.
Right.
And on top of it, here's the other problem I got with this show. Not a whole lot really happens in this episode. We find out that Mando is still in trouble for taking off his helmet.
How dare he?
And and they won't redeem him, even though the place where you go to get redeemed doesn't exist anymore, supposedly.
Right.
They're like, too bad, sorry, tough crap.
Right.
And it's like, what's up with that? I mean, okay, that's fine. So we're going to create a story.
Right.
So now he's got to go and he's got to basically figure out where this place is. And he visits Bo-Katan, and, she tells him, sitting there on her big throne. It makes you wonder, like, there's nothing else around there but the throne and like Bo-Katan. And she's like, just chilling there. She's like, yeah, they all just left me because I don't have that weapon that you stole or that you got. Right. You maybe they'll follow you. It's like, what is she doing?
The dark saber.
Yeah, the dark sabers. You're like, does she just sit in the chair all day? So it's like, it was just like a weird.
When I ordered my dark saber, I had to fight the postman for it.
Nice. And
the only way I can own it is if I beat someone in battle.
You had to kill him, actually, I think, right?
Bro, I wasn't going to admit that on stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Rest in peace. Okay, so anyways, so we get this scene where he goes, okay, so Bo-Katan, no, ain't gonna help. So now he needs to go back to Apollo Creed's home planet, where now he's like this. He's like the magistrate, and that was kind of funny. Like, I like that actor, like he does well. But then you got this dumb thing where, like, okay, Mando, they've got IG-11 as a statue, like in the middle of town, because that's kind of what freed them from like all the bandits that were there and whatnot.
Right.
So he goes, I need him, I want to fix him, or blah blah whatever. And they're like, oh, pick one of the other ones. Like, I can't. He's my friend. And I'm like, that just doesn't feel like something the Mandalorian would say.
Really doesn't.
Right. And then when they try to go repair him, like they find the little worker people that are like small little creatures, like smaller than Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like talking back and forth. And Grogu keeps wanting to hug them and squeeze them. Right. Hug and squeeze the characters. And I'm like, no, you're laughing right now. And I understand. But that's something you do for kids.
Right.
Right. So is this made for kids or is it made for Star Wars fans? And kids can be Star Wars fans, but it felt very child directed. This episode.
You know why I laughed?
Why?
I thought of Mice and Men.
Oh, George, yeah.
Lenny and George or whatever. Oh, I just want to pet the rabbits.
Well, he kept telling Grogu to stop, and Grogu kept, wouldn't stop hugging him.
Right.
And it was kind of like, I mean, I get they were going for a laugh or they thought it was funny. And then, they do this whole thing with the space pirates. They have like green Jabba the Hutt space pirate up in space. Where he's like, I'm not going to let you go. And then he just basically hits the hyperspace or whatever and then leaves. And it's like, okay, well, what was the point of having him interact with the space pirates?
Right.
If nothing happened other than he just went faster than they did.
Right.
And I was like,
no
okay.
Reason then.
Everything was very uneventful. And then the episode ended uneventfully.
Right.
And I'm just like, this is what I hate about episodic television. Like, have there be really cool, pointful things or, important things that occur that want to make me go watch the next episode. Now, the only motivation I have to watch the next episode is that he's trying to find these hidden waterfalls or hidden pools or whatever. So he can be forgiven so that he can go back to his people and be a Mandalorian again. And everybody along the way is like offering him a place to hang out and stay.
Yeah.
Like,
why do you care so much about the Mandalorians? They're obviously dicks.
They hate you, dude. Like, they're not nice to you. Like, you made a mistake. You showed your face, and I get it. Like, it's a religious thing, but they obviously don't like you very much, and they haven't from the beginning of this whole show.
Right? It's clear.
Right? All these other people. Look, the magistrate wants you to hang out and be like the marshal, right? And have a cool. Anyways, I'm just saying, like, it felt very pedestrian this first episode. It felt directed at children. I wanted to see Pedro's face the whole time, and I just felt like it was boring. And I got to tell you, I liked the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, first 2.5 seasons, if you include the Book of Boba Fett. So, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I'm having a hard time getting into it. I did start watching it, and I think I fell asleep about halfway through. But
well, there you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, it like this first episode certainly was not as exciting or interesting to me as the second season. However, it is the first episode.
Well, and I will say on a positive note, Chris Gore did see the second episode through a screener, and he reported that it is better, and you really should have seen both episodes together.
Okay, so why does Star Wars keep doing that? Like, stop making the shows in blocks.
It's the nature of episodic television now. They're not writing it. They're not writing them in episodes. They make them in parts, like 4 parts or 2 parts or whatever, and then they break it down into a bunch of episodes. I mean, they got to stop doing that.
Yeah, they have to stop doing that. It's stupid. It really is super stupid.
I'd rather watch 4 long episodes than 8 short ones.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, why not? Like, dumb. And why can't an episode, even though it's episodic, why can't an episode still speak for itself entertainment wise?
Because they didn't write it in a way so that it would. So they write them in, like Andor was written in 4 episode arcs.
Right.
That's the way he wrote it. So when they made it, but Disney Plus is like, no. We gotta make a bunch of these. So we keep people here for longer, because think about it. If you just had, 3 or 4 2-hour episodes, you're not getting them to come back to the platform once a week. And you know what's interesting about streaming services? When you go to Hulu or Disney Plus or any of these places and you watch a show, do you know the odds of you staying there to watch the next show are like 90%?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And so they want you to come every week.
Yeah, based on like just falling asleep, you're going to watch like 3 episodes of this garbage. Right.
It's true.
Dude, I was watching the 70s show. So I started watching the 70s show to get caught up so I can watch the 90s show. Don't do it, guys. And dude, I'm binge watching the 70s show basically every time I go to bed. And I got through all like 7 seasons really fast. I'm like, how did I do that? And I realized I missed like half of every season, bro. Because every other episode, I went to sleep and fell asleep and Netflix kept running.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Gordon Ramsay owes me some money because I have watched Next Level Chef 23 times that first season.
Right.
Because I keep falling asleep. It plays all the way through. And I'm like, oh, crap. The next night, I'm like, put it on episode 2. Runs all the way through. So, I mean, Hulu's like going, yeah, this guy loves this show.
Dude, same with like Survivor. Like, I don't know how many times I put Survivor on and had to put the same episode the next day. Paramount thinks I'm just like a Survivor nut. I just keep watching the same like 4 episodes.
Right.
Oh my God. All right.
So that's it. I mean, I'm not done with Mandalorian. I do hope that I get over whatever my problem is, if it's me or they get better, because I trust Jon Favreau and I know that this is his thing. So I really do need to give it more than 1 episode, but I am cautiously optimistic at this point.
Oh, that's nice. I have no opinion yet. But I'll tell you this, I'm going to give it, I'll give it a shot. I'm not going to write it off because the first episode was boring. So, we'll see.
Yeah. Nobody should. I mean, you should definitely let it keep going, but I'm telling you right now, if Grogu's like hugging things and I understand you want to sell little stuffed animals. I get it. But like Grogu's supposed to be a future Mandalorian, I guess, was a Jedi. Now, I mean, so, okay, he doesn't need to be a baby forever, does he? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, do some cool stuff too.
Dude, the whole Grogu. So I guess Yoda's people are like super old, right?
Yeah, live a long time.
Right. So like he can be a baby for like a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no good.
So what happens if you're a baby for a long time? Like, wouldn't your experiences being a baby make you a more mature baby?
Right. Well, so on that note, how about who takes care of you for the 30 years you're a baby?
Apparently Mandalorian does.
Apparently Mandalorian, right. I don't know.
Because Grogu decided he wants to be a Mando. So
yeah, that's real weird to me. All right. Well, that's it for that. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below if you're watching this clip. Thank you so much.
One more thing. If you didn't get enough baby Yoda, Grogu, it looks like they're probably going to pair him with Ahsoka in that show as well. So, hey, more Baby Yoda to come.
I don't understand that. Actually, no. I do understand it.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, you get it.
They sell a stupid amount of those Baby Yoda merch. All right. That's what you guys think. Next topic. Let's talk about Star Trek. What do you want to say for the member section?
I don't know.
What topic were like? Do you feel the need to curse? Because that's a member section thing.
I didn't actually choose any for the member section.
Oh, let's just go in there guns blazing. I got stuff to complain about.
We should just pick stuff. Yeah, like by the way, when we get to the member section, we'll be talking like directly to you guys. That's the time when we actually really talk to members and that's what you guys come there for.
I have some complaints that I can't air publicly. Okay,
good. So we'll take it.
And I'm ready to complain. I'm so ready. All right. It's like this is my cathartic time. All right. So let's do that. Then we have 2 more stories, and then we're gonna jump to the members section, and that'll be fun.
We will talk about.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. We're also going to talk about Discovery season 5 ending.
Yeah, here, right?
Which I'll put in the. Yeah, I'm going to put in your Slack right now, so that way you've got the link for when it comes out.
Copy that, dude. Knock it out. All right. We're talking about the future of Star Trek TV remains unclear as Paramount announces spending cuts to streaming series. Dun, dun, dun. Well, who could have predicted that you would need money when you make a lot of garbage? So if you make garbage and your garbage doesn't make any money, then you're at a deficit, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a baker and you make bread, but you only want to make your kind of bread. You only want to make bread that you think tells your story. So you make bread.
I'll be right back, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead, man. But no one likes the bread. No one likes your bread because it's bitter. And you have very unique taste that only a small portion of people really care about. Right? So you make your bread. And you're making your bread and you're like trying to sell it and you're giving it away. No one really wants it. A small minority of people want it, but the majority of your customer base doesn't. But here's the problem. The bread costs you, let's say it costs you $100 to make. But you don't sell enough bread to even break even so you can buy ingredients to make bread the next day. So what do? You only sold $20 worth. You need at least $100. So you go into your bank account and you pull out $80 to make your next loaf of bread. And you have the same problem because you only made the bread you wanted and not what customers wanted, not what fans wanted. So you once again, you don't sell enough bread. You make $18 or $20. So in order to make the next day's loaf of bread, you have to go back in your bank account and pull out $80 because it costs $100 of ingredients. Now, you seeing a problem here? What happens when your bank account runs out of money?
No more bread?
Star Trek Discovery gets canceled.
I think your analogy is really good. And I think that if you think about it, this streaming service thing got out of control. So people started creating streaming services and all of a sudden everybody's running to subscribe because of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's, so all of a sudden they're making literally millions and millions of dollars a month. Right now, based on the preliminary numbers we understand with Paramount Plus subscribers, they make at least $35 million a month.
A lot of money.
On subscriber money. At least. That's the very bottom figure.
A lot of stretch.
Okay, it's a lot of money. But they got to make that go around. Now, they're not just making money there. They got movies. They got regular TV still. That's just the streaming numbers. So how much, but if you came out, if you look at Paramount, I mean, they just They got the whole Yellowstone thing going on. They got the Star Trek thing going on. They're not doing so bad. You know, some of their shows are actually pretty good.
Yeah, well, Yellowstone is starting to cost some money because they're going to let go of Costner, right?
Well, they got to pay people. Yeah, that's the problem. Is once things become popular, you got to pay them.
Right. But so they're also doing Tulsa King, 1941 or whatever. These are all part of the same universe. So the same crew is making the same money on these shows.
Right. And so what happened is these guys started doing these streaming shows, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at all this money! Oh, well, let's just do this show, and let's do this show, and let's do this show." So the first few years of streaming, they spent a ton of money thinking, we're going to make money for a long time, and this is going to be just fine. Then what happened is they didn't maintain their subscriber growth because people were like, oh, the shows are good, but, they just couldn't maintain how much money they were spending and also maintain this, the shows and the money and everything they got to pay people. They're making too much content, right?
Well, they're making too much garbage content. That's the problem. They have good stuff, but they also have a lot of really stuff that doesn't matter, that no one cares about. I mean, like, I can... Look, here's the deal. I live on Paramount Plus. I'm constantly in Paramount Plus. To be honest, I'm constantly in most streaming services, but specifically Paramount Plus. Why? I'll tell you why. Friggin' Picard. And DS9. And the Detroiters. Next Generation. And Little Survivor, right?
Strange New Tulsa King.
Are you seeing though? Like my list is like they have what I want, but what do they have that's new? So they have Tulsa King. They have
love Tulsa King.
They don't have Yellowstone, by the way. They leased that out, so it's not.
Oh, that's right.
Yellowstone's not part of Paramount Plus.
But they have other shows.
They have 1940 whatever and
1899,
whatever it's called, and Tulsa King are part of that universe. But they're not as popular as Yellowstone is. They actually lease a lot of their content now. How? Case in point, all the Star Trek movies are not on Paramount Plus. They're like at Prime for some reason. Who knows why? I don't get it.
Probably long-term deals.
So how are their originals going? Right? Not their like. So I'm basically subscribed for Star Trek and like the whole back catalog, right? Well, their originals, like the stuff you would, the selling points for your streaming service, because either there's two ways to sell a streaming service. You got new stuff you want to watch, or you got a lot, like 5 times the old stuff you want to watch. Peacock is a perfect example of this. Peacock doesn't have a whole lot of new stuff, but they have the most old stuff. And so it's worth the price of admission. So look at this place. They got Strange New Worlds. Science-fi show. Very expensive to make this. That's an expensive show.
Oh, Strange New World?
Yeah, Strange New Worlds. It's an ensemble sci-fi show. Science fiction is expensive, right?
Unless you're doing Picard Season 3.
Right. Well, so it's Picard Season 1 and 2. At $10 million an episode. Picard Season 3, not so much. Lower Decks is animation, who cares? But there's a lot of voice actors. A lot of voice actors. Like there's like 25 voice actors. That's costing you money. It's also not making you very much money because these episodes are what, 15, 16 minutes long? You're not staying on the platform as long as you would be, say, if you watched Tulsa King or whatever. Discovery, look, it's got its fans. And if you like Discovery, that's great. I'm glad you like Discovery. I hate it. Most Trekkies really despise the majority of what Discovery has to offer.
Well, most long-time Trekkies, not most Trekkies.
Well, yeah, I'm going to call them legacy Trekkies. The thing is, though, like, are you going to keep your subscription for Picard Season 3 before we actually saw it? If you're subscribing to Paramount for Star Trek, well, the movies aren't there, and the old shows are there, but you've seen them 400 times, and the new shows sort of suck. What's the point? I mean, Lower Decks. It's such short form content. I mean, you might just go high seas for that because it's such an easy download. You know, you can binge watch that entire thing in like an afternoon. So well, they got Tulsa King, they got Halo, which was not well received. Mayor of Kingstown, not well received. The 1883 and 1923 were well received so far. Not well received. This This like super reality show that should be like an easy win. Everyone hates it.
What's that one?
It's called Challenge All Stars.
Oh,
It's not very interesting. And additionally, no, this is a good show, The Offer. But what you do is when you add a bunch of, and this is what makes like Survivor worse. Like a lot of your old shows, maybe you're still making them, Criminal Minds or CSI or whatever, right? But now they no longer even resemble what they used to look like 10 years ago because you've added so much agenda and box checking to that show that now that show looks like whatever dribble you can find on Netflix. Who cares? It's no longer Survivor if you have all these check boxes you have to check. You have to make sure you have this percentage of this people and this percentage of these people. And you can right now. You watch Survivor now. You can literally yell at Jeff Probst about your pronouns, and he's going to apologize and give you an immunity idol. It's silly.
Give you an immunity idol.
Somehow, Survivor has gone from like this game of outwitting and outlasting your opponents to make $1 million to who has the saddest story here, and how can I take advantage of my skin color, my gender, or my sexuality. That is all Survivor is now. I got a sad story. I'm non-binary, gay, and I'm from a small country in the middle of Guatemala, and I win automatically. Like it's nuts. So when you treat your content that you people subscribe to, their current content like that, and it no longer even resembles what it used to look like, then there's no reason to subscribe to your service. So you're not going to get new people because you don't have anything to offer.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, and so just so we can put a pin in this, the reason why we're even talking about this is Trek Movie came out with an article that basically said just this week, Paramount Global CFO Naveen Chopra said they were on a path of profitability with plans to both raise prices and cut spending, noting that 2023 will be their peak year in streaming investment. Now, if 2023 is their peak year, what does a peak tell you? Well, it's going to go back down. So following 2023, they're going to be spending less money. The company is going to get choosier when it comes to deciding how to spend the money on its content. And they're going to be rolling Showtime into Paramount Plus as well, which is, something that should add more content, and more value. But as you can see, they're going to have to start saving money at some point.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Hey, Chris, 1883 and 1923 did have good reviews, but I don't think Mare was well received. So.
Yeah, I think people really like the 1883 and 1923.
Yeah, they like the 1883 and 1923. Yeah. Remember, like, so there's freshman shows, like shows that don't cost a lot of money because like it's a new concept or new actors. Contracts are still low, so it costs the company less money. So when they're a big hit, it's a big financial win for them. But then you have the senior shows that are established, they have a fan base, and you got to be paying your actors, their fourth season money now, and it costs a whole lot more. When you get that when you negotiate a new contract for season 2, 3, and 4, you're not getting paid the same as you were in season 1. You're getting paid a lot more. So freshman series, the risk is, hey, they cost less money to produce, but there's a chance they might do good. But more so than not, they don't.
So let's take a look at what we think Star Trek's going to look like moving forward. So with Star Trek 5 now being, or Star Trek season, Discovery season 5 being, this being the final season, this could actually make room for what they've been wanting to do, which is, one of the things that Kurtzman's been trying to push for is a Starfleet Academy show. So now we've got Discovery, right? Introduced Starfleet Academy in the future.
They did, yeah.
Right. So how hard would it be to have Tilly as the commandant or whatever of the school, and to have teen-oriented, you have a younger audience. They're pushing that younger audience. They can save and keep some of the Discovery fans to stay for this Starfleet Academy, plus bring in a younger audience, which is, of course, always what they're hoping to do.
Yeah, younger, cheaper, and stupider.
Right.
Stupider.
I don't think
more stupid.
I don't think you're going to lose any of the animated stuff. It's not too expensive.
Yeah.
It is content they can keep creating, although I don't think they have as much viewership as the live action things.
Well, I mean, you base it on like the numbers on YouTube alone. Like, you know, a review of like Prodigy is going to get 1/10 of the views that a review of Strange New Worlds or whatever is going to get. You know,
right? But based on the cost, I just don't see them getting rid of that right now. So I can't see him also getting rid of Strange New Worlds yet. I think Strange New Worlds is probably going to be the new flagship show. What we're hoping is that Picard season 3 ends up becoming so overwhelmingly good by the time we get to 10 episodes that they just don't have any other choice but to keep telling the story from here on out.
Yeah.
Like, we believe, it is our opinion, that when we get to the end of the 10th episode of Star Trek Picard season 3, pretty much every Trek fan, every Trekkie going on right now is going to say, wow, this is the best thing we've seen so far.
Yeah, I agree entirely.
So I think everybody's going to do that. And if that's the case, then they got some tough calls to make, because if they want to do this Starfleet Academy show to kind of satiate that Discovery audience, I don't see a problem. That's fine. But as long as they do something to continue the story where we're at. Now, Kurtzman has said from the beginning, they want to maintain 5 shows, right? Because that gives you 50 weeks of Star Trek, and you got Star Trek all year round.
Right.
So people keep coming back to Paramount Plus. It's actually a good model, but it depends on how much money it's going to cost. The one thing that we don't know is Section 31. We keep hearing Section 31 is still alive.
Right.
It's been around for a long time. Michelle Yeoh's becoming a superstar. She just won an award, and she's got a shot at winning an Oscar.
What, for Everything All at Once or whatever?
Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. But could she return to her role as Emperor Philippa Georgiou? They keep talking about it. They keep saying they want to do it. If they end up going forward and trying to do it, they're just kind of running out of time. She's no spring chicken. But maybe it won't be a series. Maybe they would do something more like a limited series. And we may be seeing a lot of this going forward. So what you may be seeing instead of full series are limited mini series. You might see like a 5 or 6 episode story about something.
Interesting.
And that in the Trek universe, we might be seeing some of that happening. That saves money. It creates new content, gives people a reason to come back. Think short Treks, but maybe like multiple episodes.
So I don't like that at all.
Well, we didn't like the short Treks, but if we got like, say, an Emperor Giorgio Section 31 miniseries, maybe fans would like that, or if we get like, maybe a story about some other Star Trek characters for, some sort, like with the Khan series would have been great. Like to do like a 6 episode Khan series, which is not going to happen. But
I just want to continue the story though. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want these little mini series. Continue the story, please. Please, God.
That's what we want. And if they're going to spend the money, that's what we'd like to see. But there's definitely some issues here. There's some monetary problems going forward. So
instead, what they could do, they could just go all in on reality and make 14 more challenge all-star and great rib race or whatever it's called.
I don't know what that is. I don't know.
Like they have the Jersey Shore and the Florida Shore and the Newport Shore or whatever. All right. That's it for that. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. How do you feel about Paramount being broke? And how do you think that's going to affect Star Trek? Let us know in the comment section. All right, man. We got one more topic before the live show, right? Before the members section?
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do.
What do you want to talk about first? Discovery or LOTR?
Well, I guess we'll take a little Discovery break.
We've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about Discovery in the members section. Let's go let's finish out the public session here with a little bit of Lord of the Rings, or I like to call it Super Nerd Time.
That's a great name for it. Thanks.
Super Nerd Time.
Super Nerd Time, aka Lord of the Rings.
VAC 12 Beverly Sex Candles. That's great. All right. We are talking about Rings of Power's fate revealed after the announcement of new LOTR movies. I see. I got you there like that.
That was good. You like kind of saved yourself like a little bit. That was nice.
I was just reading the headline. I'm not even going to take credit for
that. Yeah. So it looks like Warner Brothers is going to be making some more Lord of the Rings movies.
Uh-oh.
You know, I find it interesting. I wonder if Warner Brothers smelled blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And they went, that first season of Rings of Power was pretty much hated by everyone.
Yeah. Universally.
Yeah. And let me be honest with you. Those guys need to make money. And David Zaslav, he will do it any way he can.
Right.
And Lord of the Rings made him a lot of money. So why not, while they have the license for the books, why not go back and talk to Peter Jackson, which they're doing, about perhaps having another series. If you're Amazon, do you go, oh crap? Or do you go, no big deal? I mean, they've spent $1 billion. You got to be concerned you're going to get upstaged by another Lord of the Rings, more different Lord of the Rings content, right?
$1 billion. That's so insane. You're right, though. David Zaslav needs money. If he had his way, he would have his stars be pimping him out on OnlyFans or something too. You know, there'd be like a Hobbit, an OnlyFans Hobbit page or something.
I bet there is.
I mean, there probably is. The thing is, though, I think you're right. They smell blood in the water. They want that money, and they have the ability to do it. And at this point, I don't think anything can be as bad for Lord of the Rings as Rings of Power was. Which means that if you only made a subpar series or movie or whatever about Lord of the Rings, just subpar, just good enough, you're going to be praised by all the nerds. All the super sprays are going to just bow down to your ever-loving nerd greatness. Because Rings of Power was so bad, I don't believe you can do worse than that show for Lord of the Rings.
Well, what's funny, Amazon was hamstrung a little bit, because the Tolkien family had some control over who made the product. That was part of the deal. Mm-hmm. But I don't believe they have any control over who Warner Brothers hires to make them, because the Tolkien family does not like Peter Jackson. Mm. So if Peter Jackson comes back, I mean, I feel like he's the guy to make Lord of the Rings, even if he didn't like The Hobbit, which I liked it. I'm a huge Tolkien fan, and I know there were some things in there that were irritating, but ultimately on a big scale, I like it. And I like getting all the lore. And frankly speaking, I mean, having the female elf in there, that the lady who plays on Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She just was great. And even though she wasn't part of the original story and played no point, and I hated the fact that she was with I think it was Philly or Killy. It was pointless and dumb, and I didn't like that. But she was great, Evangeline Lilly.
Oh, I like it. You don't like Evangeline Lilly? That's weird.
No, I like her. I like her.
Oh, I see.
But I'm saying she wasn't part of the original story, nor was the character, and they just kind of added that to give you that romance.
Right.
Which there's not a whole lot of romance in The Hobbit.
No, I mean,
nor probably should there be.
Yeah, they're hobbits.
Right. It's just not necessary, but they want to get the ladies into the theater. So I get it.
You know, ladies are really into the 3-foot hairy, smelly guys.
well, there was no. Well, he was actually a handsome dwarf. Like, he didn't look like the regular smelly. He would look like he actually looked like a human, which was kind of weird.
Right.
But they were, Philly and Killy did look. They had no beards. They were beardless dwarfs, I think. So going back anyway, so if Peter Jackson comes back and decides he's going to do this, we trust him, and we think he would probably do something with either the Rohirrim, or he would do something maybe with Aragorn the younger years, maybe, or something. I don't know. I'll watch whatever the guy brings back. But problem is Rings of Power was so awful in that first season.
Right.
They're going to come back for a second season, and they've promised the fans, listen, we're going to deliver in the second season what you thought the first season was going to be. And we're like, wait, what the hell? I mean,
don't worry, guys. We're going to get it right this time.
Yeah. So
totally.
They're already changing characters' names. Like 2 characters' names changed. Some weird stuff happened. So it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. But what do you think about more Lord of the Rings movies made by Peter Jackson?
Yeah, I'll take it. Peter Jackson? Sure. I'm not even like an ultra fan of the original movies, but I'm definitely a fan. And Peter Jackson coming back to continue that story or to add to it, I guess. Sign me up, bro. That sounds good.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. So Jennifer Salke, who's the head of Amazon Studios, when she was asked the question, said that they had we have people who love our original series. We're extremely proud of it and invested long term. So they have plenty of fan support and fan love for their series. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know there are people who probably like it, but it seems like we just overwhelmingly heard that it was not good.
Yeah, there's not many. There are not many people that like it. I'm sorry. Look, if you are someone who likes it, awesome. I'm like super happy for you because I got zero entertainment value out of that show. In fact, it was just work. It was like clocking in, and it sucked. So I will send you my stuff, and you know what? If you like it, that's great. Enjoy it. But I do believe that the majority of people just didn't like it.
Yeah, I know there are people that are saying, well, it's Tolkien, and I get it, kind of like my argument with The Hobbit. Like, I just want more of that world, so I'm willing to take a little bit of bastardization to get more. And so maybe that's what's happening for some of these fans. But if you can do better, then you should do better. And you need to say when it's not good. So,
well, you know what they said? You know, Mr. Ticker Trunk said it best. Honest, guys, we're going to try this time. Okay? It's going to be great. I know he's right. Like, that's what a silly thing. Like, I know you guys didn't like the first one, but don't worry.
If they come back in season 2 and it's not better, they're going to lose. They're going to lose a lot of people. They're going to lose. It's going to be an obvious bad thing.
I'm going to be honest. I'm actually looking forward now to season 2.
Oh, all right.
Because we are going to get to actually, like, just rip it to shreds every Friday or Monday, whatever
If
show.
It's bad. If it's bad.
Yes, if it's bad.
Of course. Maybe something happens and it's good. I mean, it's a lot of money. I mean, you got to think at some point, Jeff Bezos is going to come down from the mountain and he's going to walk into somebody's office and say, I'm losing money. Fix this crap now.
I don't know. Jeff Bezos isn't even in charge anymore, right?
I mean, listen, okay, yeah, he's not the CEO of the company, but he's Jeff Bezos, bro. At any moment he wants to step in and say, oh, I want to be in charge again. He's going to immediately be in charge again. So, he stepped down. He wasn't replaced.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
So I can promise you there are phone calls made. First off, I'm not sure why you let a couple of guys show run the biggest TV show in the history of television who have never created anything in the first place. Why do you do like literally Star Trek Beyond? They helped write the script for it, I think.
Yeah,
that was
it wasn't even the whole script. It was just a punch up. Hey, I have a question.
It's terrible.
Why are we not show running something? Can we not? We're
not friends with J.J. Abrams.
Well, I mean, we can just let's just go apply to show run a show.
Yeah, well, you got to be friends with JJ. That's the first thing, because I think he was a big part of selling them to Amazon. He actually helped sell them.
Or you got to go the Terry and Talis route, and you got to start as an intern at 18 years old and work your way up over the last 35 years.
Yeah, so thank you, JJ, for ruining Star Trek, Star Wars, and now Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Thanks.
JJ is the ultimate nerd hater. He's just like, I just want to kill these nerds. I hate nerds. What if he's like a giant jock? Nerds suck.
He was a nerd. I don't think he wants to kill these things. I think he's afraid of them. Like, I think he jumps on board and he doesn't want to be responsible for it being an utter disaster. So he leaves before it can become bad and become his fault. But the problem is your fingerprints are there.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Yep. Archmage Fred says, when Terry hires you to run a show, please ask me to help. Yeah. Terry ain't hiring us to ever do that. But if he does, if that happens, first person we call is you, Archmage.
Listen, you know what? You don't even need to have us run a show. Just do this. Just call us and we'll come sit with you while you're developing the show. And we'll say, that's stupid. No, that's great.
No.
Don't do that. That person would never do that.
Listen,
okay, do
guys,
that.
Guys, too much penis. Right? Let's scale the penis down. Too much penis in this show.
See, I was being serious and you turned it into a joke.
It's not a joke. Okay? Have you
No,
seen?
I'm deadly serious. If you want a real, listen, if you want real opinions about your bullshit shows that you're out there putting out to everybody, okay,
have you
then
seen
we
Lord of
will
the Rings?
come and sit in your room and we will brutally and honestly tell you the truth.
Okay, so he's right. Absolutely. But I do think there's too much penis in shows nowadays. Listen, at the very least, there needs to be an equal amount, of gender nudity. Why is there so many nude males in everything I watch? I don't get it.
Because you can't have nude females anymore. You can't. You cannot have. I mean, dude, you can't even ask your coworker out on a date, or else you're like a creep. You know, I don't know how young men go out with anybody anymore. How are you supposed to go on a date with anybody if you can't ask them?
It's Tinder, right? Tinder. Someone tell us.
That's not dating.
Anyone under 30 in the chat that's not married.
There's nobody under 30 in the chat.
Please let us know how you date, or anyone in the chat who is currently dating. Let us know how you date. I would like to know that because I've been married for 20 years, so I don't know.
I have 3 children that are now adults, and none of them have been dating since they've been adults. I probably should ask them.
Mr. Ticker Trunk has a really good idea, Shane. Wrong one. Make Brian happy. Just hire trans women. Then you can get penis and boobs in equal measure.
Well done, Mr. Tickle Trunk. So what you're saying is Hollywood's already solved the problem.
Yeah, they're solving the problem, bro. That's what
got it. See that? They heard us. They heard us. They heard us. Now we completely forgot what I was saying because Brian made it into a joke. So what the heck was I saying? Ask us to come to your show and we will tell you the painful truth. Your story sucks. That's not what that character would do. Fix this. And we'll do it for free. You ain't gotta pay it.
Yeah. B Sod said, I'm sorry I missed this, B. Would you like to show run a new attempt at Hellboy? Hell yes.
Yeah. We'll do anything.
No pun intended. Hell yes. That'd be sick. I'm a huge fan of Hellboy. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. The Ron Perlman Hellboy is actually hella fun. It's great. And Doug Jones is awesome in that show. Or in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think we could make anything better because we're going to look at it and go, we know what good storytelling is. We know what's being honest. We know when you've got an agenda. So we can point all these things out. So yeah, I mean, listen, just call us up. We'll consult. We consult for free or very cheaply anyways.
Yeah.
Buy us dinner.
Vax says no one knows us. No, Amazon does not know us. That's true. They don't.
Not yet.
Not yet. I was about to do that. Damn it. You beat me to it.
Sorry. It was a perfect moment.
We actually just figured out, or we learned, Shane showed me actually to say that we now have 4 videos over 1 million views. It's great, right?
4? I think it's 3.
Oh, 3. Sorry. 3 videos over 1 million views. That's awesome.
We had 1, you guys know, and then now 2 more have now gone over 1 million since then. So that's cool.
Yeah, and we have a lot of videos that are in like the 500, 600K too. But the thing is, like the 1 million view thing is like one of those milestones in a video that like, I was like, that's permanently successful. And it's very hard to get to 1 million views. It's so hard.
I do want to say just before we go anywhere else or do anything else, if you guys are here for Star Trek, which most of you guys are, and you're loving Picard season 3 and you want more of it, we need to get out there and get heard a little bit. So we ask that you guys go to terrytrek.com and sign the petition that we've got up there. We're going to take that petition and we're going to try to get it in front of as many eyes as possible when we have a lot of signatures on it. So if you do get a chance to do that, but don't give those guys any money. Okay, so I noticed some people are like, don't giving money to change.org. There's no proof that actually does anything for the poll.
I'm so glad you said this, Shane. I keep seeing people giving $5-10 to change.org. Don't give them any money.
Yeah, don't give them money because they say they push there's no, I haven't found any evidence of that.
There's no
evidence. Instead, if you want, go buy go to mixtees.com, support our channel, buy a Terry Trek hat or shirt or something like that. And then we're going to use that money to help push the narrative on this thing. And we're going to try to get it in front of as many faces as possible. So we'd rather have you, if you're going to spend money to support it, that's a better way to do it.
Yeah. Any Terry Trek merch that we sell is going to go toward promoting the petition and like the whole setup.
Right. We want to try to get it out there as much as we can. So
yeah, the thing is though, change.org, there's literally no proof that when you give them $5, it does anything.
Right.
I've tested it. I've given them $5. I don't think it does anything. So like, don't give them any money.
Right. And they make a lot of money off and I get it. They're running a website and I'm sure that they love donations and there's good causes out there, but yeah.
I mean, anyways. Like it's actually sort of a scam. I mean, I'm not saying it's a scam. It feels like a scam because you don't actually have to show your math.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing is like there's no proof of what your money does.
Right.
So that's kind of not cool. There should be some sort of validation for what you do. Super chat from Christopher Mays here, $9.99. Thank you so much, Christopher. Cheers, guys. Thank you for loving Star Trek so much. So refreshing to find true fans with a great YouTube show. Christopher, thank you so much. That means so much.
Yeah.
We're trying our best here, man. We're, wearing it. We wear our heart on our sleeve and we've been complaining about Star Trek for so long.
Right.
It's nice to be in love with it again,
Yeah, I know it is. Dude, I can't. You know what's funny? I've already seen the entire season and I can't wait for next week's episode.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
I know. No, it's great. Yeah, it's so rare that you enjoy something so much that you want to do that. I can't think of anything else on TV that I want to go back and watch except for this.
Yeah, not that soon. Like this,
not right now. Like something that came out recently that I'm like I've watched it. Like I saw Tulsa King. It's a good show. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah, great show.
I saw the first season. I got no desire to go watch it again.
Yep, I'm good. I mean, maybe in a couple years I might watch it again.
Right, maybe
like
before
Breaking
the next
Bad.
season.
I can watch Breaking Bad once every 4 years.
Yeah, once the second season's about to come out, I may go back and watch the first season again so I can just kind of catch up to where I was. That's cool, but not this. I want to watch it again now. I'll watch some of the episodes 2-3 times, that come out, the ones that have already come out because it's just that good. Anyways, I'm preaching to the choir here.
Besides, any chance you guys can sign hats? I mean, yeah, we could if you want to sign a hat. Why do you want us to sign a hat though? Probably want Terry to sign a hat.
He may not. He probably won't do that though.
Listen, if you buy a hat, email us and we'll sign it for you. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, we can sign it before it goes out if you get a hold of us.
Yeah, we make all of our own merch. Our merch is actually made by us. It isn't some random like overseas company. It's us. We make it all. So yeah, you want something customized or signed, just let us know. Okay, guys, we are going to go to the members section, my friends. Let me tell you how to get there. It's actually pretty simple. You can do nothing, as in like literally do nothing, and just let the YouTube current take you to the members section, or you can click the link in the description of this video, or you can click the link I just put in the chat. If you can't join us in the member section for whatever reason, that's cool. No problem. We love you regardless. Please come back next week on Monday when we are going to be doing our Raw Rant show in this same place. And if you're not going to the member section, that's cool. We love you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
We love you guys so much. We appreciate you. And thank you for saying that, B-Sod. Yes. You watch us, not Terry. We love you too. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, B.
Appreciate you guys. That. We'll see you on Monday, hopefully, right?
Yeah. Monday. If you're not coming to the member section, then I'll see you on Monday. I think I'll be on the Saturday show on Salty Nerd Saturday show too. If you guys want to come.
Yeah, check out. Yeah, if you guys are up Saturday mornings, make sure you check out the Salty Nerd.
I
Brian's
haven't gotten
on.
the email yet from Matt, but I usually do around this time. So I'll probably be on there on Saturday too. Okay,
Awesome.
guys.